Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm episode 39, Uzaru Baby, because he's like fatter than he is in the other episodes.
And I'm Super Holy Ken.
Ooh. We're the world's strongest under the heavens trio de dangers here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Douglas, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great, man. I've been enjoying Spider-Man 2 for the past few days and loving it, baby. It's so good. I just got like the new Quest 3 as well, but that's on the back burner because I'm just playing Spider-Man 2.
You're not living in the metaverse, you're living in the webiverse.
Right.
Spider-Man.
If only I could find a way to play Spider-Man 2 in the VR, which I know is possible, but no.
Yeah, man, get PSVR 2. You play it in a VR theater with a big old screen.
Oh, you could do that with PSVR 2? I didn't know that. Okay.
If you get a low latency capture card, you could do it easily.
I don't need to waste any more money. I also bought Mario Wonder because y'all were saying such good things about it on our Discord. And I bought it for like $40 because it was on sale through first time customers on QVC because I follow like Wario on Twitter or whatever. Sorry, Randy. I know you don't know what that means anymore. But yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. Ken, what's going on with you?
I've been playing Mario Wonder, been watching Frasier and Lower Decks and Loki, but I've also been watching Loki. Dragon Ball GT. So what have you been up to, Randy?
I've also been watching Lower Decks. I think I'm an episode behind on Loki, but I played this one JRPG. I say JRPG. I don't believe it's like French-Canadian or something, but called Sea of Stars. Mm-hmm. It's indie one, and man, it's good. I beat it the other day. It's good.
It's got those freps a chance then.
I've heard about this game. Yeah, it's well regarded.
Well regarded. Combat is like you time your attacks and defense, so very Super Mario RPG, if that's your kind of thing.
Ken's waiting for that too.
Ken's chef kissing. He's like, that's what I need. But I also wanted to briefly quick talk about friend and listener of the show, Saban, posted at me on X.
Oh, to correct your name? To correct his name?
No. We did that already. But he was, had brought up that he's been listening.
Did you mess with his middle name now?
No. He's been listening to old episodes of Kanzenshu, or back in the day, Daizenshu EX, and said that it was quite a surprise listening to episode 185 from August 2009 and hearing me in an audio email. And I'm like, yeah, man.
Oh, you sent one in? Like an audio?
Yeah, awesome. I booted it up. I listened to that episode, and like I time traveled back in time to when I recorded that.
First one here is from Randy. So Jeff, I kick it over to you with our awesome new recording setup. You press a button on your iPhone and it plays. Here's Randy.
Yo, Mike, Mary, Julian, Jeff, and the rest. So, Dragon Boxes, huh? It's probably the best news, and I think it was said by Julian, but it still holds true. 2009 just turned around and bitch-slapped 2008 in terms of new Dragon Ball. I got up to the sound of my phone going off, a tweet from Mike, of course. First it was a slow build-up from a special announcement, finally to, oh my god, Dragon Box everyone! So up I got to the forum, and there wasn't anything going on about the announcement. And then I started a thread that eventually killed the forum bandwidth. My friends and I have been chatting about how these boxes will be since the announcement, and we couldn't be any more excited. Of course, I have people looking at us like we're freaks, or people stopping us to ask why we care about these when there are remastered season sets. It's tough to educate those on why it's amazing, but then this product really isn't for them, is it? Anyway, just wanted to throw in my stories about this startling release, and wanted to thank you guys on having the community that you do so that we can talk about it and really get pumped for the release as a collective. You guys rock, and keep up the great work on the site and podcast.
Wait, I said that?
Yeah, you said that.
Because for context, this was right after that one convention where they announced, guess what, guys? We're bringing the Dragon Box to the U.S.
Oh, yeah. Those are good times.
Yeah, it was. Apparently, I started the thread about that thing because like before smartphones, I had my phone text me whenever Mike tweeted something. So I was like, oh, what? And I saw the news and I immediately went over to my computer and I made a thread about it. And apparently that crashed the forum because the bandwidth, man, everybody was there to talk about it.
That was you.
I guess. I also was the first one to get one in my possession.
In the world, right? Yeah, I bet.
No, I mean like in the fandom, posting on the forum because I live like 2 hours away from the Right Stuff shipping warehouse.
Rest in peace.
No shit.
Yeah, rest in peace. So I got it super fast. I took photos. I was getting screen caps. I was like, here, all this stuff. But it's very funny listening to that audio email because I was like, oh, I remember I wrote the script. You can hear that it's very like I'm reading it. I'm super nervous because I'm like, this guy, Mike, he's too cool. I want to make sure that I sound like that I've got everything put together. Flashback. To the future, and here I am calling him a bitch on Mario Kart nights. It's great,
You've never called him a bitch on Mario Kart. well, internally, but
you're not playing Mario Kart with us this weekend. But as I was saying, by the time this comes out, you could have done it.
You could, yeah. Oh man, next time.
I'm gonna get you, Mike, by calling it to your face. Whatever.
That's so wild to think that like I maybe have seen like your post on Kanzenshuu those many years back before I even like knew you, where we had like any kind of sort of relationship.
Yeah, this Haseo Wolf is so pretentious. I hate this guy.
He's got a lot of thoughts
saying he got
opinions.
It all first. It's like I'm this shit because I got it first.
He keeps typing out pawn parentheses say it like this and then in parentheses just so that way
PAWN.
So that way that he knows that he's saying it right.
Right.
Anyway, we've got a full episode this fortnight, I guess, because it's every other week, whatever. So before we jump into our usual Dragon Ball GT retrospective of auspiciosity, there's that pretentiousness that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I want to do a quick super mini topic because New York Comic Con happened between last episode and this episode. And just wanted to get your guys' thoughts, feelings, and all that. Doug, what do you have to say? What do you have to say about yourself in New York?
About me? I'm so excited, man. It's Daima, right? Like, just like everyone else, I keep wanting to say Daimo, because of Piccolo Daimo. But yeah, no, Daima. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm so glad it's not Super 2 or whatever everyone else wanted. It's they've proven that they can't do super well anime style already. Like they fumble it. So a new spin-off kind of series or whatever this is, where they're all kids again, or Chibi or whatever. Ken's so mad that I'm saying super sucks. But it's I'm looking forward to something fresh. I've always wanted like a slice of life type thing with Dragon Ball. I'm so sick of like the fights and everything, but now that we're getting more choreographical fights in this one, as opposed to just key blasts and fast punches, or who knows. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it more than I would Super. Like, I'm definitely watching this before I read the manga ever.
Ken, rebuttal from Doug, who has just danced on Moro's grave, I guess.
Well, Doug said the anime has proven they can't do this, but the anime has proven they can't tell a new story basically being pooped out on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. But they can adapt a manga story, and Daima is being done so far in advance so that they're not running into production issues in the same way that Super was. So
yeah,
it's apples and oranges a bit.
Right. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Ken, are you as the announcement of the series? Does this excite you?
I am mostly interested in it from like an encyclopedic lore aspect. Like, what timeline is this? Are we in the timeline? Someone on the Kanzenshuu Discord today brought up about, does this take place before Battle of Gods, but after Boo? And then that made me realize, like, well, no, because Kibito, Kaioshin, they're one person by that point, unless everyone getting turned into a kid is what splits them up and makes them realize that they prefer to be split up, in which case, yes! That would be awesome. So, we'll see.
Yeah, man. It's exciting. I had put out a video on our YouTube just to kind of go over what happened there. And only afterwards did I realize I didn't say what I thought about it. I'm like, here's the news, bye. That's
you didn't say your own thoughts?
No.
You didn't.
I'm very much in the camp of more so Doug, that I'm very excited to see how it goes. Visuals wise, it looks really, really great and interesting. I mean, probably not the art style in particular I would have wanted to see. And I'm also kind of annoyed how everything has a disparate look between it. Like, we have Super that was Yamamuro, and then we've got, the Kubota animation style from the beginning of Superhero, and we've got the name is escaping me for Super Broly. I'm just like, everything has to look so different. It's gonna be so annoying looking at promotional art. Like, all right, what style are they gonna go for this thing? Random thing, whatever.
But it's also, we only got like 10 seconds of footage, so who knows what we're really gonna get.
That's fair. That's very fair. we're excited.
I'm super excited for it. Yeah, I don't even when it's like next year of fall.
Next fall, yeah.
Cool.
See,
and they've been working on it for a couple of years, at least. That's what I've heard since late 2021.
I hope that it's like everyone turns to kids except for Gohan, and Gohan has to take care of them all because we didn't see Gohan in that trailer at all, did we?
He's the Billy of finding the Zeo crystals in Dragon Ball Daima. He's the one that stays older.
I understand.
I didn't. Is that?
I got a smile from Ken there. So yeah, it is.
Okay.
Anyway, you guys want to jump into another show where people get turned into kids?
Yes,
I think we have to. Yeah, I think that's why we're here.
I have no idea what we're talking about, but yeah, the kids in this series, in this day and age.
Yeah, right. So we're talking about Dragon Ball GT again. It's not stopping. This train keeps on going. And this time, we're going to be covering episodes 36 through 40 of Dragon Ball GT. And if you need a recap of what's happened so far, I'm going to tell you what happened. So, after a year of Dragon Ball hunting across the universe to save the Earth from exploding, Goku, Pan, and Trunks return home. Upon landing on Earth, they find the world taken over by the evil Neo Machine mutant Baby, who also infected Trunks in space. After having possessed Vegeta's body and reviving Planet Plant, Baby is on the cusp of victory to eliminate the Saiyan menace, but Goku has ascended to a whole new power, Super Saiyan 4. And these episodes aired way back in the day, February 5th, 1997 to March 5th, 1997. Temperature check. How do we all feel about these episodes?
I didn't know they aired that late. I'd always like gloss over when you mentioned dates, but I listened this time. I'm like, 97 is when these things air. That's I thought they always aired like 95. That's what I always told myself, but that's when Z ended, isn't it?
Either late 95
the manga. Yeah,
the manga.
95.
I knew 95 was a year, but yeah. Cam, what did you think about this batch of episodes?
I loved them. I mean, I do have some issues with them from a lore standpoint that we'll get into as we go along.
Yeah.
But I think it was a really strong batch of episodes. It reminded me a lot of the struggle against Vegeta in early Z, and just which kind of it's like a scramble to win. Yeah, a great batch of episodes. I think a strong finish to the arc. As we're about to totally left turn with where the series is heading next. I'm still where I'm at last episode, where I don't understand necessarily where everything went so wrong and why the series decided it had to end. I think when I've been listening, and I'll wrap this up real quick. I've been listening to the Kanzenshi review of they're called the Review of Awesomeness. Go with that.
I've ruined their brand.
You have.
Yes. Just for us internally who use this. Yeah. When I was listening to the last one they did 5 years ago, Mike said something along the lines of that's a research project he's working on, is figuring out when the announcement of GT was that it was ending, when they first started publicizing that. And so I'm very interested. I don't know if he ever actually did that or not, but yeah. Anyways, Doug, what do you think?
This is where I started to absolutely hate this stupid series. Nothing makes sense. Everything is stupid. They use the same 3 tracks of music since the beginning, and I'm done. I'm not watching, and I'm just kidding. I'll keep watching for you guys. But if it wasn't for you guys, I'd be done with this stupid ass show.
Whoa!
We can delve into my grievances with each and every episode as we go. But Randy,
yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards on the Ken side here. I enjoyed it. I have some nitpicks and things that I felt, were some flaws in their execution, but overall, I still don't know. Looking back on it, we're 40 episodes into a 64 episode series that is known as oh, it's bad, it's trash, don't waste your time. And I'm like, I don't know where this mentality, this sort of group decision that this series sucks comes from.
I know. I can tell you.
I changed my mind. That's what I want you to do, Doug. Make me hate GT. So cool. We're kind of all over the place here. That's great. That's going to lead to a good conversation.
I mean, I've enjoyed GT up until this point, but these 5 episodes just broke me.
Just destroyed you.
I passed out during one episode, woke up on the last time on GT part, and I'm like, oh, I didn't miss a damn thing. Okay, good to know.
Now, Doug, we have talked about this. Going into this show, you take a big nap, and then you cram 5 episodes in before we record. So we do have to explain to the audience the context behind your mindset as you go into these episodes and into the podcast.
Hey, it's my way of viewing it, and that's if you want to hate it, then view it my way, I guess.
You might think differently if you were watching it once a week,
spaced out, maybe
9 a.m. Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, whenever it was.
Maybe.
Ken, do you want to tell us what's going on in episode 36, our first episode that we get to talk about today?
Yeah, this episode is called An Invincible Monster, the Evil Ozaru Baby. Baby has achieved the power of Golden Ozaru and goes wild on his own planet. As the fight unfolds, Baby reveals that it was all a bluff. As he continues to be bested by Goku, Baby launches attacks on Goku's loved ones and the Earth in retaliation. In the confusion of battle, Baby manages a surprise attack on Goku and fells him to the ground and begins charging his ki for the finishing move.
All right.
Bulma is a badass. Even evil Bulma.
Oh, yeah.
Evil Bulma.
Her monitoring room is so wild. She's like on this spire to sit on a stool sort of thing with a bunch of...
And like,
they're not even like...
Do you notice they show her at the end of every episode, like, as a reaction to what's happening? Like, she's off in the distance, like 20 miles away.
So good.
But they still cut to her.
I have
like, what are you doing?
3 Bulma figure arts, and the one I'm missing is this one.
Is the GT one?
I want the GT Bulma, evil Bulma, yeah.
Once we get back around to GT, they gotta, after we get, we're going with Pan and Trunks after we get all that.
I think, well, anyway, we'll get a baby. With baby will come GT evil Bulma.
Oh, that'd be tight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ken, let's set up a PO box that you can just put it out in the universe, and then maybe a fan will send you their figure.
There's no way.
Then you'll have it completed.
But I'm already gonna pre-order it myself.
Right, we're gonna get it ourselves.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm not leaving that up to chance,
Randy. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist yet, Randy. That's what we're saying. It needs to exist, and then we will consume.
See, I thought it was like a release from like 4 years ago, and like, I had bills that month and I missed it, and it's all sold out. No. Nobody has.
I've been doing this from day one with these figure arts.
Yeah. My figures aren't incorporated into my bills. That's how it works out.
That's fair. You know what? My first note of this episode is Yamamuro, and then I look it up, and it wasn't the
Randy
Yamamuro episode.
Same thing.
I know.
Noboru Koizumi? I'm like, who even is this? I don't know this name. Had to look it up. Dude did a bunch of Digimon stuff. Berserk, the 1997 TV series.
Oh,
wow. Key animation on Path to Power. Animation director for a bunch of episodes of Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai, the 2020 series. And man, he's doing One Piece. He's out there. He's doing stuff. And I'm like, I don't know who this dude is. But I was like, it's not Yamamuro? What? Wild. Looks good.
We'll come back to Koizumi later, because there are some points where he and a certain Doga Kobo join forces, and it's not good.
Okay.
Was this I don't know names, so this all sounds gibberish to me. Or this a good animator or a bad animator for this episode? I forget.
I'd say really good.
Okay.
There's something going on with this episode. I'll have to look into it, because when you tell me this is a Koizumi episode, I don't believe it, because I know what he's responsible for later down the line, and I know what he's responsible for in One Piece, and I don't like any of it. So we'll come back to Koizumi later, and then I'll figure out. I'll get to the bottom of what happened in this episode in post.
Possible heavy corrections. Done is what you're thinking. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Ken here. I did a quick little look, and Yamamuro was the chief animation supervisor, with Koizumi as the regular animation supervisor below him. So, mystery solved.
Gotcha.
First thing I hated about this episode was the whole baby just being like, oh, psych, I actually do have my full consciousness available to me. Like, you your show's dumb. You should have known. Like, there's no, why would we know? Why did you hide it? For one punch? For just One Punch Man? Come on. Like, why? There's nothing to add to the story of why he needed to act like a crazy ape. It's just for a dumb, like, cliffhanger for the previous episode to come to this. I hate when they do that.
That's true. He also does wipe out his own followers for a goof.
For a goof to convince Goku that he's actually out of control, just so he can get like one punch in or something like that. Whatever he does to him.
This didn't
Not
really
even a good punch.
This didn't really dawn on me, Doug, until you just went on that tirade. But
like a giant ape.
I think Baby was lying about that.
Oh, you okay?
Because he does then say that he's not the one who lost his mind. Vegeta did. But Baby's in control. And I think that maybe something went haywire in that initial transformation. He actually was out of control as Baby was trying to re-control Vegeta's body. And then he got it and was like, oh, no, I meant to do that.
Ken, you did it again. I love that a lot more, and it would make so much more sense. It's one of those things, too, where like they didn't spell it out. Like, I don't want them to spell it out, and you just had to show it to me, and I like that.
I took it as face value, and I think that it was just for a goof. But I do like the explanation that's like, no. Vegeta's body transformed. Why would my mind be affected by this? It's not my brain, but like, I'm all good. And I thought that that's so good as a way of explaining, like, he has his reason, but he's not shrinking down, and now we've got Super Saiyan 4 Baby. So I was like, that's a good way to do that.
So, yeah, and another reason that I would clue this into my headcanon is how we end this adventure with Baby, is that he grew inside as Golden Ozaru grew too, and when Golden Ozaru shrunk back, he had to yeet out of there.
Mm-hmm. So, but he didn't yeet out as a giant thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He had the same human size. I hated that too.
He grew bigger when the Golden Ozaru grew bigger.
Right.
And then, so anyways, that's in my headcanon.
He grew smaller as Vegeta was growing smaller, but said, oh no, I can't fit in this body. But then you see him and he's the same size as whatever.
We'll get to episode 40.
I just want to say there is a couple of interesting things. One, a line that Goku had before Baby gets his head on straight is Goku says his power is awesome, but his noggin ain't working at all.
Yeah.
And I laughed at that line so much.
This really was like right away we were getting fun Goku again.
Yeah.
And he dropped the whole stoic act and was like, oh, he's Goku again.
Yep. Our writers found their footing because they haven't written adult Goku in months. Yeah. So like, it's got to be tough.
They went like full on like the Super Saiyan 4. He looks like a badass now, so we got to make his attitude a badass, but then found that middle ground of Goku.
Now, this is how you write a silly, fun Goku, and not the way that Super did it.
Super, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple of quick things, and I don't want to stick on this too long, but I just wanted to bring it up in case Ken also noticed it. I feel like Pan in this Japanese version is always called both Goku and Mr. Satan Grandpa, just, Ji-chan. But then weirdly in this episode, she expressly calls Satan, like Mr. Satan Oji-chan, but Goku is just Ji-chan. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
She does.
Maybe because she sees like Goku as an adult now. So it's like, oh, now you're my grandpa as opposed to when you were a kid. You're just Ji-chan? I don't know.
There's also some moments where, with Chi-Chi specifically, where she says Chi-Chi Obasan, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just.
There's also one part at the very end where she runs up to Chi-Chi and says, Mama. I'm like, your mom's over there. Why you? I don't. Whatever. It wasn't.
You sure you weren't starting to pass out during that moment? Because I don't remember.
No, I passed out episode 2, but no, it was like she ran like Chi-Chi and Videl were standing kind of like at a round table, and Pan runs up to Chi-Chi, arm is wide open to her, and says, "Mama," and like, but Videl's like in the whatever. I'm sure it's just like it's meant to just you don't see her face, so she's probably like looking at Videl, but she's running towards Chi-Chi with her arms open and saying, "Mama."
There's a lot of weird framing in this episode. I think due to Baby's size, there were at least 2 times where Goku hit Baby, and we don't see the hit, we only hear it, and then we see Baby like turning around, acting hit, like really strange framing and some of the stuff.
Oh, okay.
In addition to the possibly the worst framing in this entire series, which is when Mr. Satan is grabbing onto Pan and he's tickling her.
Tickling? Yeah.
And it's like,
really,
that line and what happens is okay, right? I guess.
Sure.
But the way that they frame it and animate it, it's so gross. I'm not even going to post a screenshot on the screen right now.
I don't recall this at all.
I think.
I recall it, but just knowing the intent of the characters, I didn't see anything. I get it, because the way it was framed. Like, now that you say that, the way it was framed was kind of weird. Like, why would you bother framing that shot that way?
I agree that between the characters, it was not weird. It was just,
no, of course not. Yeah,
but aimed the way that it's communicated to the audience definitely was.
Do you know what we're talking about, Randy? Like Satan, like is I think Pan's flying and like trying to go over there to help fight, but then Satan like holds her back or is scared or whatever, and like is like shivering, like he's scared, like shivering because a blast just happened, and so he's kind of like tickling her, but it looks like he's like fondling her.
Yeah, it's really,
and it's framed like without her head. It's like framed on her body with his hands.
It's on her
like
chest.
Yeah.
I don't know if
it's right when Goku comes and grabs him off of her.
Yeah. Don't remember this at all. I did watch this episode 2 days ago rather than the rest I watched yesterday, but I don't know. Maybe I was distracted or I didn't read it that way at all, so it's not even processing. But.
It's a quick, I don't blame you for not.
Huh. Well, I missed that. But you know what I didn't miss is this sort of like plan of like, how do we deal before he reveals that he's, he hasn't lost his reason. I just wanted to call out that they're like, oh, what if you just use instantaneous movement and take him off planet? And he's like, yeah, that would work. And I was like, wouldn't really, unless you. And he's like, oh, no.
And then he said,
I have to know somebody there and like sense their key. Oh, I could just take him to the Kaioshin realm. Then we cut to the Kaioshin, and they're just like, oh shit, no, I'm not here.
I was so happy with that inclusion of him, like realizing that, because it's commonly in the fandom people forget that, so it's nice that like, okay, at least I thought Toei forgot themselves, and then no, they didn't forget, they got it.
It seems like an incredibly easy thing for them to have overlooked, and it's the kind of thing I would have expected that to be overlooked in Super.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah,
but not here.
100%. Ken, you were talking about some things that happen animation-wise that give you pause. Is this the slow-mo Goku throwing baby to the ground sort of thing? There was a one shot where he's like running down his body. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of jank, but
it does, but I love it. The inventiveness of what's happening there, and so that it does look weird, but that helps sell it because it is something incredibly weird that's it's like something from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like some weird thing when you take into
How I Met Your Kids.
Yeah, How Do I Met Your Kids? When you take in account such a size difference of how that fight, so baby like slowly like reaching down as he gets flipped over. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's great.
It was great. Yeah, it does look super weird. It does look super weird.
But I do love it.
When they rescue Chi-Chi and Videl from Baby's blast and Goku sets them down, and Mr. Satan has like the most subdued line delivery he has ever had and probably ever will have. And he just goes like, Pon's trying to like wake them up or whatever. And Satan's just like, until we can do something about the eggs in their bodies, it might be best to leave them like this. But he says it in such like a somber tone. And I'm like, this is like, Mr. Satan.
They're better off this way.
You've got range.
Yeah. I'm so impressed with Daisuke Gori in these episodes. Like, I'm always impressed with his work, but like, yeah, man, that like, yeah, it's kind of like trying to convey understanding of like, look, like I get it, but like it's probably for the best that we don't because of this whole thing.
I think I said this off podcast, but I said that GT is starting to make me feel like Satan is my favorite character.
Piccolo's out.
Well, Piccolo. We'll get to Piccolo.
We'll get to there.
We'll get to him. But the way that Satan is portrayed in here, I would say that at least in GT, Satan is my favorite character of this show.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and like I'm starting to look at Satan through that lens too, and I'm definitely being able to see it now, see what you see.
And he's used so well in this show.
There's one scene particular in a few episodes from now I won't get to, but that I wish he did something instead of something else. So remind me that in 2 episodes.
Okay.
Baby is, feeling pretty insecure at Goku beating him, so he tried to attack Chi-Chi and Videl. Then he decides that he's just going to blast Earth, and Goku is like, I gotta stop it, and he blasts a Kamehameha. He's like, it's not gonna make it, and then does it just also hit Earth? Like, are they both attacking Earth?
It was so weird.
Time?
I saw that, and then like you see like a big like splash on the ground. I'm like, oh, so Goku fell down there. It didn't go like propelled by the blast.
Weird physics, and we've established physics to work differently in GT, and that's okay.
Right.
But I love that part where he's attacking Earth, and you go to Earth to get like their reaction, and it's just baby everywhere. There's like portraits of baby on the sides of buildings, on the truck
movie posters.
By. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
I love that. That's good, you guys. You did a great job. Goku does this new move, guys. The 10 times Kamehameha. And it's so raw, man. It's so good. Like the two hands and then forcing it together into one blast.
Yeah, but why? What is that?
Because it's fucking cool, Doug. And I'm sorry. I know I said I would stop trying to swear on this show because it's better for YouTube. But damn it, Doug.
We're past
it's
the 5
so
minute
cool.
mark.
And look, man. It took. I watched GT a long ass time ago, and I'm 35, and I only just now realized that as a 10 times Kamehameha, because he's a Super Saiyan 4, which is an Ozaru, but with his reason, and Ozaru is a 10 times power boost.
Oh, it's not because
why wouldn't
one hand was 5 times, and the other hand was the other 5 times. So you put them together, and they're 10 times, and then
yeah, why not do that too?
Why didn't he just put 10 in one hand together at the same time? Why do you have to do this and then that? I don't know.
So we're still using Hitori Janai remixes.
We are. Oh, God.
So sick of it.
Before I've talked about when my wife, her reactions to the show, as she just happens to walk into the room at these very strange times, like with Doltaki and different things.
Oh, no.
And here she walks in with Goku doing this attack and the victorious, like, silly version of Hitori Janai playing. Yeah. And she's like, what is with this music? And I'm like, oh, I know.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
it's such an omen of victory, or whatever that track from Super is. Track number 8. That's how this is used here.
It feels
it's its equivalent. Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, couldn't have put it better myself. But it's very strange. Baby is still alive. Goku is surprised. He's like, I guess he put everything into that. And Baby claims he's immortal, which, like, all right,
why? That's okay.
That's just posturing.
Yeah. That's all Baby is at this point. You know, he's full of bluffs and, you know, self-important crap. But then he does his Gattaco, his attack point blank, and now Goku is like, well, down for the count now. That's all it took, I guess.
Gets eaten by that blast.
That's true.
And then we're reminded that, or we learn that Goten, Gohan, and Trunks still have bodies, which is important. It's about to be very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then he's charging up, and we go into the next episode,
which is
it's going to be episode 37. But I know that we talked about our temperature for the whole series. But do you have any last thoughts about this episode? I forgot to put overall thoughts in my notes, but I was like, I mean, there's some cool bits.
The Kaioshin up in their own realm, and they're like watching the battle. This is where they make the plan to like go send
next episode.
That's not this episode. Okay, they're just freaking out for now.
We're going into that episode, but I was asking overall thoughts for this one that we just watched.
That's what I was wondering. It's not this episode where they make the plan.
No.
Okay. Then no,
nothing.
It was bad, and it should feel bad.
Ken, you're okay with that? Let's leaving it on that note.
Yeah. Let's.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Because I think this next one is a better episode.
Okay.
This one isn't worth fighting for.
Episode 37, Incredible, Baby and Goku's double knockout. Goku's battle with Baby continues, but both fighters are exhausted and manage to knock each other out at the same time. To capitalize on this opportunity, Kaioshin travels to the heavenly realm on Earth to get the ultra holy water and cleanse everyone of Baby's influence. Meanwhile, Bulma pumps Baby full of Brutes waves in a last-ditch effort to revive and restore the miscreant mutant. Okay, Ken, you punched that one up real good.
Yo,
miscreant mutant.
I also do Bulma pumps Baby full of Brutes.
So. Okay, that was good. Well done.
A little behind the scenes for people. Randy writes these episode descriptions, and then I go through and try to reword them for mouth feels so that when we're saying them, it's a little bit...
They sound a little more natural.
Yeah.
To the human language.
I'm writing them under duress because I do it like in the morning of recording, and I'm like, I gotta write something real fast, and I want to get this outline out to my dudes, you know. Yeah, exactly. So that's how it goes. Baby randomly starts firing ki out of his body before he can shoot this blast. I assume from exhaustion.
Yeah.
Why? What is? When has it ever happened in the series? What? Why?
It's just a way to express visually what's happening to him internally.
It looks like blast coming out. I was, you know how mad I was that it wasn't like Vegeta internally like fighting against Baby in his body. I was like, oh, finally we get some Vegeta time. This whole arc of him as his giant as Baby, it doesn't feel like Vegeta ever. Like little sprinkled moments of Vegeta fighting back would have been nice, but we don't get that. It's just he's exhausted, so let's show blast coming out of his body.
And then our explanation of it is, oh, this is an after effect of being hit by the 10 times Kamehameha, but much later. And I don't follow that.
10 minutes later, like, how does that, why? It's so stupid.
I really didn't take too much issue with it. I thought it was just like a delayed reaction to something. Like when you get exhaustion can hit you later on. And maybe because it's, I don't know.
I've never been exhausted, so I can't relate.
We've also never been giant golden Ozaru, so you know
that you know
it's different.
I can go on I will go on rants. You see me.
Doug's a cryptid, dude.
Dude, Ultra Holy Water. It's Garlic Jr. time, right? Is that what is
that's
the same thing?
Exactly what I thought. Yeah. I'm like, we're not doing this again, are we?
Okay, now hold on just a darn second here. The Garlic Jr. arc rules, okay? When you're not waiting for Trunks,
yes,
and you're watching it for its own merit, the Garlic Jr. arc is great.
I agree, but the Kami and Popo storyline did not rule. It was the same scenes for like 5 episodes of them running.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
Randy
great.
Knows running frantically.
There's this thing in this world called joy and laughter, and it's not all about serious fights. Sometimes it's about goofy God running around the graveyard of his predecessors, looking for the ultra holy water so he can cleanse the earth of the Aqua Mist.
There's so much water there too. What? It's just regular water. It must be. I guess that they just drink that.
It's either regular water or it's the regular water that Karin
gave to Goku as a kid.
Calls the super. Gosh, we just the
holy
super.
Water.
So okay, so
the Cho
super holy water,
so
super god water.
So it's Cho Seisui, which is the first one. That's the
Sounds
super
delicious.
holy water. That's the one that Goku has to catch or something, but it's just regular water. And then there's the Cho Shinsui, which is the actual
real water.
That's the good stuff.
That's the one you want.
And that's what we deal with in garlic. That's the stuff that Roshi drank, Yajirobe tasted, and Goku drank. And that's the stuff they use in Garlic Jr., and that's the stuff they're using here.
It's a nice little callback, I guess.
It's
and
great.
Especially in, this is a full Toei creation here.
Yeah, we see the throne for the first time since, I think, Garlic Jr.
Yeah.
And then even before then, it was maybe just in, I guess, chronologically, it would have been after that, or before that, but when Kami is telling the backstory of him becoming God,
right?
I think you see his predecessor sitting on it or something, so we rarely see that thing, and it's always in filler.
Didn't realize it was there, until like, oh yeah, there's a throne there. That's interesting.
But I love when Kaioshin gets there and he's doing his, sneaking mission.
Yeah.
Everything's normal. Popo's tending to the plants or whatever, and Dende's just walking around like, okay, what are you doing? What are your chores here on this planet? Or on this temple? Yeah.
They're watching out for somebody he's on patrol. He's walking around and be like, nobody be coming for my water.
Well, speaking of transportation, Popo can fly, which I don't think we've ever known that before.
Well, I think that's a Zenpai trivia question of the week that we just spoiled there. So
Popo's got Bukujutsu. Let's wait for it.
Let's wait for it. I bet you.
So, let's figure this out. I just have a question. Plot and all that. But what does Kaioshin actually have to worry about Popo and Dende? Like, what are they going to do to him?
That's also what I thought too. I'm like, you you could probably outclass them if you needed to.
Well, as a member of the Dragon Clan, Dende does have magic, so you don't know what he can pull off, really.
He can just make Dragon Balls. That's it. That's all he can do.
Well, he can conjure. I mean, if you assume because Piccolo and I don't know if we ever see Kami conjure anything, but we know Piccolo can.
I like to think that they have a natural god respect where they don't want to fight each other. Well, at least like Kaioshin doesn't, I guess, because he still has a sense
we're not having
about him.
Interdepartmental fights here between managers.
Right.
Sections.
Kami can take over bodies.
Oh yeah.
So Dende's got some tricks, I'm sure.
Oh, I like that. We don't know.
Would have rather seen that battle than the baby battle.
So he gets the water and he goes and cleanses Trunks first.
No, Popo and then Kami.
Oh yeah, Popo
Dende.
and Dende, and
he does a wish that should have taken all the water out, but it's a little splash.
It's never ending. That's the magic of the ultra holy water.
And
but
holy stuff. So yeah.
Before we get to Trunks, did you notice? Did you know? When Kaioshin does Kai, he puts his fingers to his forehead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a thing he's ever done before.
And he does it a few times in this batch of episodes, but not exclusively.
Yeah.
I think I got thrown off by just him saying Kai that I until you said it, I didn't realize, well, yeah, he does do the finger thing. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
It's weird.
Why does he do that? Because it's not the same technique, is it?
Nope.
It's essentially the same, I think. I'd have to look at the guidebooks.
Okay, go ahead, Randy.
I don't think he is required to find the key of somebody and then it can only go to them. I think he can teleport anywhere. I think that's the big difference. But
I think we're associating this too much to like the instantaneous movement when it should just mean like I'm focusing really hard.
You guys got to stop calling it that, dude. It's just teleportation. Shunkan Ido is the everyday terminology for plain old teleportation.
When I like to move instantaneously, you just gotta. This is just like more of like I'm focusing really hard as opposed to.
Yeah,
Ken, I'm never changing. That's what I'm never changing. Too bad, so sad.
Scotty, instantaneously movement me up.
Yeah, exactly. It differentiates it from Star Trek Bull.
Ken, we just gotta have Elon Musk change it to teleportation. Then Randy will have to.
Got it. All right, I understand.
Call it X and teleportation.
I'll sheet at him and find out.
Yeah, great.
Anyway, apparently now we're counting on Trunks to defeat Baby, is what I took away from Kaioshin's. Like, here you go. Go beat him now.
Dumb plan from Elder Kaioshin. Like, I think the regular Kaioshin is like, oh, you want me to go heal Goku's like, you're too weak to heal Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but go heal these other 3 Saiyans that then will heal Goku themselves. Where does the math coincide there? Why couldn't
have Kai'd Dende over to Goku? Be like, all right, here you go.
Let's both
get back
heal
in
up
the
or
fight.
something. Or why?
So Toyotaro's Dragon Ball Super manga
Of
great.
course. Okay.
Is it about Saya energy?
does bring into play the limitations of restoring energy to someone at certain power levels.
Okay.
That's right.
They do have issues doing this to restore Goku to his full... Like, Trunks has healing powers in the manga. Doug, spoiler alert.
Wow.
And he can heal Vegeta and Goku to like half amount, or he can heal Goku all the way. So it's like there are limitations to how much you can restore energy to. I mean, it's obviously GT
it's how much MP he has.
Yeah, basically. That's a good way to think of it. This basically is Dragon Quest, as we've said before. This is a video game anime. Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to excuse this all away, but I'm saying that later on, this was kind of there is a precedent for a future precedent for this.
Gotcha. Yep. Retroactively, I gotcha. Yeah. Just doesn't make sense now, where it's like, yeah, let me heal these 3 people that will have the strength to heal Goku.
But this Super God Water is the Choshinsui is supposed to be a big deal when you drink it.
Yeah.
Like Yajirobe took just like a little bit on his fingy and put it on his tongue and like about had a heart attack. So, and Kaioshin pours a healthy amount in Trunks' mouth.
Yeah.
Like Dende and Popo, I can understand like magic or whatever, but Trunks is just a relatively normal dude.
He's normal, but he can transform into a Super Saiyan. This guy's got a strong bod.
Okay. Right. But okay, what about all the other Earthlings?
Yeah, when we get
We'll
to
get to that.
That's when it's,
Yeah.
But speaking of pumping full of stuff, we're just like, Bulma's decided, okay, so there's this frequency of light that transforms Saiyans into giant apes. Surely, if I give him more of that, that will revive him and give him power.
I think,
which I thought was strange.
She's in mad scientist mode, right? So she's desperate and she's gonna try anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even at the risk of like hurting babies. So yeah, it's.
And remind me, what is the number that is supposed to be used to transform? Because her screen says 17 million Zeno.
Yeah. All right. The number that she has on the screen for Senpai, the number we hit, the final frame of numbers.
I didn't go that far, but I was like, okay, whatever.
Ken did.
It's gonna
he did.
16,870,035 Zeno.
Wow.
Oh, yes. So smart.
You earn those glasses.
But isn't the thing to transform, isn't it only 17,000? Or am I remembering numbers?
Yeah,
that's a lot of Zeno.
So, yeah, well, she's got to get him to full power.
It's a lot of true. But then Goku is also waking up like, look, Brute's waves are waves. I don't think they are that focused like that. So it's like, he's right next to it. You think some of that light be hitting him, be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling pretty good now.
Brute's waves are something we can't think to understand right now, Randy.
If we divide almost 17 million Zeno by 17,000 Zeno.
How many times?
That's 1,000 times, I think. It's been a long time since I took a math class. But if you move the decimal point, so it's a whoa, she's hitting him with a lot. And so for, it's both a particle and a wave, right? Like light.
Light.
Here we go.
Right, like, so, and if someone turns a light bulb on over there, you don't have to be sticking your finger in that energy, right, to feel it. You can just kind of near it. So that's what Goku is catching. But he doesn't catch it all the way. He's not brought back fully. He's just brought back enough to get back up on his feet. And so that's what I really like about this, is that it's enough to like supercharge Baby, but enough that Goku's brought back into the fight. But no, he's not. He is not ready to go toe-to-toe with this guy. And so
he says he is.
Well,
I was waiting for you to get up.
Yeah, that's a
he's
great
just chilling
moment
with his arms crossed and just
he's hard bluffing for real. Yeah.
Oh yeah, hard. And that's where our episode ends. A lot happened this episode. Goku and Baby double knockout, which that was the name of the episode. I'm like, okay, that's going to happen at the end of the episode. No, it's like 2 minutes in.
2 seconds in. I was like, way to spoil the show. Like we're seeing Baby about to kill Goku, and you spoil double knockout. But yeah, 2 punches in.
Kaioshin
saves everybody. Goku's bluffing. I liked it. Thought it was a good episode. A lot of stuff happened.
We see very briefly, we see the wrong design for Goku in his... So in the original character design that Nakatsuru had
the abs
Super Saiyan
thing?
4, the abs go all the way down. And so there's a couple cases in this where it's drawn incorrectly. One case they try to make up for it by coloring it in differently, and then the other case they just straight up do not. So I'm assuming, because I think this is Carpenter's first episode with Super Saiyan 4, they must have been working somewhere in their documents, had that original design, and someone must have drawn that and just didn't get corrected in the final pass. But
good on you noticing that. I noticed one little thing, and I was like, oh, that's not right, but whatever. I mean, it's
I've noticed the shoulders, like they didn't color in red, so they colored in skin color. So it's like his like, shoulder neck is like skin color. Looks really weird.
Have you guys ever had a pet dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine the smell of Goku and Baby in that rain.
Oh, in the rain?
Wet fur is no fun.
Sounds pretty sexy.
I can't imagine.
Me.
So, I mean, there's a lot of unpleasant things going on during this fight. I'm sure the smell is also one of them. It's a lot of fur.
Guys, stop. Can only be so excited.
Resident furry. Like, keep talking.
Episode 38. Ken, why don't you tell us what's going on here?
With everyone's strength, Super Saiyan 4 is revived. With Baby back at full power and also revived Goku struggles to go toe-to-toe with him. Miraculously, Kaioshin has succeeded in freeing the other Saiyans of Baby's influence, allowing them to arrive in the nick of time to save Pan. Everyone gathers to grant Goku their Super Saiya power and charge him to full strength once again.
All right. So
this happened.
Baby punches Goku, is like, oh, okay, well, you're lying. You're clearly a weak piece of crap, which, like, can't Baby sense ki? Wouldn't he know that already?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it's
everyone always puts ki in reserve.
Yeah.
So it's never, you can never really understand.
Yeah. Power levels are a joke, Randy.
Yeah, get with the time.
A theme of this episode, at least for me, is being denied a thing that I think I deserved. Dang it. And our first one after this is when Goku is on the brink, Pan shows up, she has an emotional speech, and she wants to do something different, and she doesn't transform into anything, she just gets swatted away. I'm like, this was your chance. Have her finally achieve Super Saiyan, anything, and then do something. Like, I don't know, take out his eye or something, you know?
Well,
like,
Goku reminds you in a few minutes after that, like, no, this is the Goku show. Hey, I know everyone wants to see an adult Gotenks. No,
that's
it's going
the
to
other
be
one.
worthless.
That's
It's going to be worthless. Don't even bother. Don't even give us a 10-second, like, oh, cool, and then they get knocked away. No, don't even. Goku will just tell you, you're not it.
I like that.
I dislike that Pan, who's been here the whole time, and I feel like for a large chunk of episodes, is kind of our main character because she's new. Yeah. She hits, character development versus these characters that are established and been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. And now it's kind of like we're bringing that to a head. And unfortunately, Goku's there. So sorry, little girl, you get nothing.
It's just more to emphasize how strong Baby is, I guess. Because she did have that, like, somewhat of that moment, kind of, when she punched, was it Rild? General Rild in the face? Mm-hmm. Like, you're not expecting that, but then punches him, gives him a good wallop. But she just wasn't able to do that here.
Here's the thing, Dragon Ball fights, even if you are not on par with them, if you can catch them off guard, you can still do damage. So, if like I said, she could have done something, taken out an eye.
That. We love that in Dragon Ball. It's always like, fuck yeah moment. Like, I can do that too, kind of thing. But no.
Mm-hmm. You have to know the Kienzan or Kikoho to be able to do that kind of stuff.
But why didn't Goku use the Kienzan? Never mind. We'll get to that.
Because instead, he's going to use the 10 times Kamehameha against him with that threat. And Baby has the best comeback, which is, you barely have enough power left to stand, let alone do anything times 10.
And it just, and it just keeps walking.
Keeps walking.
Goku's like, damn it, you're right.
That's a good burn. You got me this time, baby.
It's cool. Goku then does like the, nothing comes out. And then behind.
The blast from behind.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's a good framing shot. Like, it's very clear that it wasn't him blasting it, and it's just exciting. It's like, what? Who was that?
I wasn't mad at it.
And
Me
it's
neither.
Trunks doing that Big Bang attack pose again.
But Trunks gets a hero moment. Granted, he's not going to do a lot, but, like, he gets to try. And then, I don't know, Baby's on fire at this point because he says, your dad's body weeps for you because of how weak Trunks is.
This is what I was disappointed in as well, is that when you're free of Baby's power, you apparently lose all memory of what you were doing before.
Well,
for the most part.
Yes and no. Dende is able to remember things.
That was as the most part. It's just Dende, but he's a god. He has magic. As we said, Ken, he could take Kaioshin if he needed to. I know you're not on that side, but Trunks would have been such a good moment for him to be like, give me my dad back. But no, we don't get that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're my dad? Like that, and we just get a snarky little thing from Baby. Such a powerful moment would be, give me back my dad, and then be knocked out. Like, I would have loved that so much more.
But I think they've set Trunks up as someone who thinks very pragmatically, and we especially going to see that in this next episode. With regards to Vegeta. So I feel like that might not have jived with everything else that they've got going on in this incarnation.
But his initial response would have been like, because he doesn't know what's going on for the most part, just give me back my dad. That's all I want.
It would have been nice.
I am glad that they at least did acknowledge that Vegeta was there, like, oh, Vegeta's disappointed in you. I'm glad they at least somewhat acknowledged it. I just wish it was Trunks that did it.
I also like that Trunks, kind of gets defeated here, and it's Gohan that catches him. I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah,
granted, it's not you're not that same Trunks.
You're not that same Gohan or Trunks.
You're not that Trunks, and you're not that same Gohan. But it's
I thought the same thing, man. Like immediately, like, well, yeah, exactly.
So neither of you guys jumped on the line of Baby saying to Trunks, as my loyal follower, you could have lived forever despite trying to kill him just a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
No, I didn't catch that. I was too busy being psyched about good lines like your dad's body weeps for you.
In these past few episodes, they've started like in universe making fun of Baby's name.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I noticed that too. Yeah. I only remember the one time though. What else was there? It's like you're really being a baby now by crying or something like that.
Oh yeah, I don't remember any
other
others. But it happens. So, guys, we've got new energy. Instead of just Saya power, we've got Super Saya power, which I assume is just it's the same thing.
No, I think because then Pan joins in, so I think it's just Saya power. They're just saying they're not saying super as in like Super Saiyan power. They're just saying super as in like awesome power. Awesome, awesome Saiyan power.
They bring up like she can't transform. There's not a lot she can do, so it's like it's not Super Saya power, but she's gonna try.
No, that also justifies what I'm saying is that it's not like
it does.
It doesn't have the Super Saiyan power. It just has to be like strong Saiyan power, which is super.
So as Randy said earlier about taking stuff at face value, I was taking this at face value that it is explicitly Super Saya power, and that when Pan goes to join in, and Kaioshin's like, she can't do that, and Mr. Satan's like, no, just she needs to feel like she's helping.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
was
like
a great
Mr. Satan
moment too. Yes.
So good.
He understands children. Yeah, and it's
when she gets in the circle, her aura is yellow, and then
for one shot,
and then it cuts back and it's white again. Yep.
See, I thought I was hallucinating after that happened. Like, oh wait, maybe I was just not looking at the right aura. But okay.
No, I caught that too. Yeah.
But before they can do this, they have to distract Baby long enough so they can pull it off. And Goku does Taioken.
No, Goku whispers to Gohan, "Hey, close your eyes." And then all five of them hear that. So then only Baby is one that gets affected by the Taioken.
But then when Goku does it, Baby's like, "What?" And it's like, "Baby, they've done this to you before, and you have your own version of it."
No, you say whenever you get got, you'll say what? If someone beats you in basketball, like with an awesome shot, you're still going to say what, even though it was Michael Jordan the whole time.
I guess.
It's another great throwback to the Goku versus Vegeta fight from the Saiyan arc, because Goku does the Taioken against him. We also had before where he was like squeezing Goku in a previous episode. I was so sad, like when previous episode, Goku got knocked to the ground and Baby came over, starts punching him. Like, no, you land on him with your foot to crush his legs. That's what you do.
It'd be too on the nose, but I get you. That fan service would have kicked in.
There's an animation mistake here. They draw Trunks. Yeah, they draw a shot of Trunks without gloves, and then the next shot he's wearing them again.
He's naked.
That's why we got to fire these colors. They really just do not deserve to eat.
Attention to detail. Gosh.
Yeah.
Can we skip the next part? I don't want to. I don't want to remember the next part at all.
You don't like it?
What are you talking about?
I don't.
You don't like the oob stuff?
Oh, no,
it's so good.
I had headphones on and I heard it and it was disgusting.
Doug was passed out for this part. Doug, oob reverts inside Baby and starts giving him a tummy ache.
This was so... I wasn't done complaining about the aura shit, but yeah, let's go on to the baby... let's go on to the baby stuff. The oob stuff. It was so...
Feels planned out, dude. And I like
it. Does not. Oh my God, it does not. It does not. You planned that the entire time?
No,
Hell yeah, I did. No, you didn't.
No. Not for oob, but in terms of like
these characters in places.
These chess pieces were in place on purpose.
No.
From a production standpoint, not necessarily for oob.
I like that.
Who better to know about the candy than me, Oob, who's only had this power for 10 seconds?
Well, no. He's got Boo in him.
It's not a Nail Piccolo thing where they had the same... Yeah, no, it's just Oob in... It's just Boo in Oob's body, isn't it? Or they didn't even explain that, so I guess maybe this is confirmation that it is. They're sharing a body?
Well, he's got his memories now.
He doesn't talk. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't talk like Boo, but yeah.
I mean, that's to accept it.
That's a pretty definitive line of him saying, "No one knows this power that I have used once more than me." So I think that is like at face value.
Which means I know how to get out of it. Just because I know a Kamehameha doesn't mean I'm not gonna get hurt by the blast. Like I know how this works, so I'm gonna. I want to back to human form, let alone.
I want to clarify,
please.
Story-wise, I like it. Experience-wise was horrifying. We've got his body like inflating, this horrible sound that sounds like rubber being like pulled to the point of like breaking.
You see the inside of baby's body.
That's ASMR right there.
And then
Vegeta's body.
Right, and he's fighting back, and Oob about to get K'd from Akira. If you've
yes, I was thinking the exact same thing. He's going to get squeezed, and we're going to see blood, and we're going to...
Which does happen, but
we're going to hear Tetsuo like yell at him, no!
Yeah. Kane does, the one yelling. Oh, Tetsuo screaming at that time, too. But whatever.
Yeah.
I just wrote, I would like to forget about this whole thing, please. That's very disturbing to me.
I remember playing Dokkan Battle, or this reminded me of Dokkan Battle, because it's that pose that Oob does in his body, like, that is the card. I'm like, but I forgot that was from this scene, that he was inside a digestive system. So weird.
I'm actually going to do something unprecedented, in which I'm going to actually go back and check something in this episode, because my notes here are saying the reverse of what we talked about with Mr. Satan just earlier, and that's Mr. Satan who says that Pan doesn't have Super Saiyan power, but Kaioshin says just let her help.
Oh, is it?
So, and I'm going to check that real fast.
That would make him not my favorite character ever again.
I'm not gonna go that far.
Dude, seeing
Douglas,
Baby Zaru like expanding from the outside too was gross as hell too. Like just seeing it's like that's someone's fetish. You know, that's someone. Oh, I'm looking at it now, and it's just so gross and pulsating. Another moment that I wish was Vegeta fighting back. I was so happy. I'm like, yes, this is. I don't remember this Oob part, so I was like, maybe it is a Vegeta part. Nope.
What if they were holding hands? What if they held hands? Goku or Vegeta and Oob while they did.
I want to see that. Yeah.
Okay. So it was Mr. Satan being worried about letting Pan go, and then Kaioshin says, "Let her help." But Mr. Satan is so cute and grandfatherly about it that I think we let it slide. And Doug, we should still consider him our favorite GT character.
I agree.
Okay. All right.
I still think Oob should have died instead of getting spit out. He's not a candy anymore.
Then he gets blasted.
I think that him getting spit out, I think, is fine. But they didn't do anything between him and Satan, really. From things were moving so fast at this point. But I needed one emotional beat where they have just 3-4 lines together where they reconnect.
Yeah.
As of the Boo inside of him. Now, I know we're about to get a whole episode spoilers coming up that's going to deal with that, but yeah.
So they all get blasted, all them Saiyans.
And Mr. Satan again.
So worried about Pan.
He's like, just kill me. I can't live in a world without Pan.
Didn't like that.
Didn't like that.
Would have preferred if he actually got mad instead and was had just the angry grandfather moment.
Pulls out the gun.
No, not even a gun. Just I want him to
here's his Game Boy.
Angry. Instead of sad face, I want him Super Saiyan 2 Gohan angry, with tears in his eyes, but angry, going to not any sensicalness in his head. It's all gone because pain is gone. He's gonna go fight Baby. He's that mad and not confident, but just mad.
But that's That's a young man's reaction.
Mm-hmm. Not an old man who's just lost everything.
I guess so, but should have been so much better if he had that growth. He loves Pan that much. Well, because I see both sides. I'm not too mad at it. I'm just disappointed that I wish it was him being angry. But I get the just kill me. But it just seems
this is a Mr. Satan who understands his place in these worlds.
That's what I mean. I wish Pan dying would have been just a wild moment in that nothing makes sense to him anymore. It's your granddaughter's dead. All reason goes out the window. And you I'm gonna kill this fucker who killed my granddaughter. That's how people would actually react if they killed your child or your grandchild. Fuck this guy. I don't care. I'm gonna kill him.
I just don't buy an old man acting that way.
I would buy Satan doing it.
He is an old man now.
The savior of the world, the champion of champions.
He is the savior and the champion of champions. The king of kings, some might say.
He would have been a true champion of champion, more so than he really is, but more so if he had that moment of just anger and love.
All right. So we start doing Saya power again because everybody is okay to get up Goku. And can I say it's strange that Saya power now heals your wounds because he was bloody and bruised and now that's all gone.
No, he took the time to pick up Pan, wipe his blood up, but not pick up anyone else. It was the most disrespectful thing to leave everyone else dead but Pan. What the fuck?
I'm not sure if this is a new Dan arrangement, but it's so pretty, and I loved it at that moment.
I didn't write anything down for it, so I'm...
Unbelievable.
How does energy sharing work in this universe? Because there's like 20 different kinds. They're just standing next to him, and they're charging up their power, and that goes to Goku, as opposed to like in Battle of the Gods, where they have to hold hands around him or something, or... In movie 8 Broly, they like have to point their energy at him and then give it to him, or just later a few episodes, Piccolo grabs his hand and gives him energy. How does
Goku shot some at Frieza?
Yeah,
and it looked like he blasted him to the ends of the earth, or Namek in that instance. But like, I don't know. Was this written by Koyama with his funky, goofy cult of energy sharing?
I don't think he wrote on GT.
I don't think so either.
Just give me consistency is what I want.
It's just like, I guess we just have to accept it is what it is. But then he's better, and I wrote, "The East is burning red," which is a
G Gundam.
G Gundam. Yeah, man. Because now he's got this red glow.
He's got a red glow. Now, what's another form later on in which kind of some characters gather and transfer some sort of energy, and then a character has a red glow?
Kaioken.
I'm thinking another red, a Super Saiyan, a god, maybe.
Limit Breaker.
Yeah, but Doug, you learned something last time.
Yeah.
Who's the nerd now?
No, it was a figure. It's Ichiban Kuji for 2022. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
Anyway,
we get not just a beam struggle, but an aura struggle.
We do.
So cool.
They're just both screaming at each other.
I was awake for this.
It was
They're
great.
just screaming at each other.
Yeah,
and their auras are battling.
Yeah, and for the audio listeners, I'm going like I don't know how to describe it.
No,
yeah.
they understood.
I'm going.
You can figure out what
you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Overall,
I have the episode on the corner watching while this, and I now remember this is where I like got fed up with the music and how it's like this song again. Like it was very annoying to me at this point.
Overall thoughts: denied me Gotenks as an adult, denied me Pan doing anything, even getting a hero moment, denied me a good night's sleep after having to hear and see that horrible, disgusting thing of Oob expanding inside of Baby.
Top 10 moments, baby.
This episode is great, but I hated it. Everything that it did to me.
That last 10 seconds of like that battle, like someone wanted to come and fuck because like the cinematography and the animation looked incredible. Mm-hmm. It's a shame it only lasted 10 seconds until we get to this next episode.
Well, this show has blue balls later on, but it sounds like Randy got them this episode.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got even more sadness for the next one. Are we ready to move on to this next one?
I don't know how both of us segued you, and you just decided to just.
I wanted to make sure.
Hey, are we ready? Both of us gave you two different segues.
All right. So, episode 39. This is the end at last. Baby's annihilation. With
wonder what happens
power.
in this one.
Good old Japanese title cards. Yeah.
With renewed power, Goku goes on the offensive against Baby and overwhelms the evil Golden Ozaru Baby. You didn't catch that one. It said baby twice in that sentence, Ken. I set you up. You failed the test.
You know.
But with Baby clearly about to be destroyed, how will they save Vegeta? Goku smartly destroys Baby's tail, making Vegeta's body revert back to his regular form, forcibly squeezing out an enlarged Baby who no longer fits inside the Saiyan. As Baby blasts off from the planet to live to fight another day, Goku finishes him off by blasting him into the sun. As everyone breathes a sigh of relief, the Earth begins to quake on the verge of exploding.
When I did do my first pass through this episode description, I wrote in hashtag Kula moment.
Yeah.
I appreciate you removing that.
the best cooler movie moment.
It's true.
I'm not going to argue with that, okay? Movie 5 is categorically better than movie 6.
Yeah. Anything
good.
Is.
Well, no, I don't know about that.
All right, we'll get to that later.
Guys, really? We decided to have Uchiyama in charge of this? I know it's not
this episode?
It's not the finale of this arc, but it is the climax.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
What everyone wanted to see, what this has all been building up to, what a fight against a full-powered Super Saiyan 4 and a full-powered Baby Ozaru, head-to-head, finally. We get to see there's no restraints anymore. Let's go at it. And you get the dumbest, the lamest-looking artist to work on this. Why are these people hired for this series for this long? Why? I don't understand. I would understand if it was all the same artists that were doing all these episodes and like they needed to take a break so they went easy on an episode. But this is just one studio in general, right? That animates this way, and we're all just fine with it.
Uchiyama had some dirt on a higher up at Toei. That's the only explanation.
He must, because they look so bad. There's one shot when Vegeta's doing, I guess Baby Vegeta's doing like a blast at Goku. It zooms in on Goku's face and he gives a little ooh face.
Now, okay, yes, I loved that. That
was great. I loved that too. Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a GIF of that, please.
I disliked that we had this buildup of like, okay, they're both at full power and it's really gonna go off now, and then they just do the smallest blast at each other, and then immediately like, we're tired and sweaty. Like, really?
Nothing happened.
The running was cool, I thought.
If it was a better animator, yes.
Yeah. Conceptually great.
I feel like they had the best concepts for like choreography, but they just suck at the animating part of it, the drawing part of it. It's
they does the Gatako or garlic cannon or whatever we want to call it. He does it on the wrong side.
Does he?
And then Goku just jumps out of the way, which is riveting. Wow, this is so great. I'm glad that I'm here.
So a way to help you remember this is that if you think about Goku and Vegeta fighting each other, the side that they're doing their attack on mirrors the other.
Okay.
So Gatako or garlic cannon or whatever we're calling it, that is on his left. Kamehameha is on his right. So they're supposed to mirror each other. Mm-hmm. That's why he gets so mad, because it's...
that's why it looks weird. You may not know why it looks weird, but that's why it looks weird, because it's different opposite hands.
I like that after a bunch of these blasts that he's like, this is it. Revenge Death Ball. Final. It's like,
he yells out final with 2 exclamation points in the subtitles. He wanted to make sure that those 2 exclamation points were there.
It is his last.
So what I was expecting to happen here was that it was going to reveal that they had de-babyfied so many people that the Revenge Death Ball was going to do nothing.
That's what I thought was going to happen too, that it was just going to pop and just gone. Like, there's not enough revenge to do this.
Better animator was doing this. Because the covered in smoke idea, brilliant. It would have been so cool to have seen like a humongous Revenge Death Ball come from those clouds to Goku, bigger than it was, because you didn't feel that scale as it was, because it appeared in screen and it got bigger on that same screen. But it would have been cool if the dust cleared and it was a humongous fucking like absurd. Why not make it absurdly large? If it's your final Death Revenge Ball, make it absurdly wacky large.
Extra large.
Please, yes. Supersize me, baby.
So I like that Goku pulls a Kid Buu and is just holding it and being pushed back.
It looked just like that, yeah.
And can't help but notice that Goku just kind of gets in there and absorbs, disperses, overcomes the whole thing, and it just goes away. I was waiting for Baby to say, what did you just do? And Goku like, I don't know. Like, it's just
I would have loved like that.
It's just Battle of Gods. The Battle of Gods finale. That's how
literally
that's what that was.
No explanation. He just sucks it in. What I hate the most is that why didn't they like do something with that? Why didn't Goku absorb all that evil or whatever? It's called the Revenge Death Ball, right? Why didn't Goku feel the revenge, the hatred that Baby felt, and like hey, baby, sorry for what my people did to you.
Let's go.
Like he feels, but I'm
get some froyo.
Goku,
No,
that's all I've ever wanted was an apology.
Like that was so cool. Like to absorb all that evil energy, feel the guilt, the Saiyan guilt of that. Like to understand where he's coming from, but still know that he has to be taken out. That's all I'm saying. Do something with that plot, not just I absorbed it and we're not gonna talk about it because I'm just cool like that. It's a Super Saiyan 4 power. Don't worry about it.
We do get Baby doing a monkey run though.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This studio has great ideas for animation. They just suck at the animating part.
They're just bad at drawing it.
I'm like, did he ever do that before? It's like, nope, this is the first time.
Goku gets off another 10 times Kamehameha to blast away Baby, and it's perfectly angled so that he'll land on his own family. Like, Goku, these are your friends. It's like, sorry, I gotta take this dude out. I was kind of hoping he would land on top of the tower and just be impaled. That'd have been
Damn,
sick.
yeah, it'd been dark.
But no, he survives, and we're reminded that, like, oh, this is Vegeta's body.
That's what I'm saying, is that this never feels like Vegeta in there. It just, you need to sprinkle in little hints that, oh yeah, this is Vegeta's body. But they never, except that one Trunks part, they never really do that.
I don't know. Think it doesn't help he looks drastically unlike Vegeta when he's in this form.
I mean,
he's tall.
Looks like
his hair is like doing a flippy thing where it's imitating Baby's head shape.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's curing Vegeta's midlife crisis, like that hairdo. Right.
But then we're like, okay, well, I mean, Trunks is kind of like, yeah, I mean, that's okay. We just have to be okay if he kills my dad. Like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I like that
moment. Yeah.
Pragmatic, like you brought up.
Yeah. It's very, like, he knows that that's what Vegeta would want as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Vegeta wouldn't want them to, like, risk everything just to save him. It's like, yo, if you gotta kill me to do this, then do it.
To end this, because he'll just cause more destruction, Goku kill him, and then Goku like stops and thinks for a second.
Right. But then it turns out Goku blasts him anyway, but he just takes out the tail. Which
he does a Kyukoho, doesn't he?
He does something.
It's because his hands are off screen, but I see if you look on the like that, like you see like that
something.
It's gotta be. But why that to take a tail off? Why anything but a Kienzan?
That's true. It's also just a strange thing to just see this giant scorch mark right above this dude's
because you got to think about it. There's no trace of the tail left, right? So the tail, he must have like singed it, like burned it, and then stopped it at his butt.
I mean, it's also a good way of explaining like now Vegeta's not going to have a tail when he gets his body back, which it's a good way to do that.
Yeah.
Although my first thought as he started shrinking, I was like, wait, okay, so Baby's outfit is now at this point just gloves, boots, and a jacket. So he's about to be naked. Like he's bottomless. He doesn't got anything covering because he's got that skin tight.
He's always
been
naked.
His skin.
When he transforms from Super Baby to Super Baby 2, all of his clothes like shred off. So he should have been naked. Cowards.
I think about that. It's like the Matrix, like whatever you personify yourself as.
And then we get this whole thing like, oh, when we turn into a Golden Ozaru, my body also grew, so now it's being compressed. I got to get out of here.
Make any fucking sense.
But then he's a little bloop. Like, that's weird.
He's the smallest blob then when he escapes on Vegeta's regular sized body.
And then, Doug, this is where we get the angry Mr. Satan moment.
Yeah.
Where he's going to go beat up the little bouncing ball.
Yeah, but that was more... Yeah. I did think about that when this scene happened. And I was like, all right, this is a little more comedic, though, with him and his gun or whatever.
I was disappointed that when Baby gets away and they look and like, oh, Vegeta's okay. He's just in his regular clothes. I feel like he should have been in Baby's outfit. So I think that would have been a cool look.
Yeah.
Now, Randy,
which is why
by the time I edit this episode, will you have finished that fan art so I can post it?
That's right. Today I was working on that specifically of drawing regular GT Vegeta in Baby's outfit. So, I mean, I think it's pretty close to complete. I'm not sure if I'll do color. I was kind of just going for a manga look, but we'll see. We'll see. Baby returns to Bulma, and she's like, "Oh, I got the spaceship ready." He just smacks her like, "Oh
Smacks
man,
her out the way, damn! All your loyal followers."
It's so criminal that we get adult Baby, and this is all we get of him. We don't get a good animation team on this episode, and then he's in the intro of the show, and that's it.
And he looks cool. He does look cool.
He looks sick.
I think they should have been like, Pon, go get him. And then Pon fights Baby.
Oh yeah, Pon's like, my signature move, my two hands, and they're gonna make big beams. And
first flash.
I feel it's
not
kind
like
of. I know that Baby has done a lot of bad things, and obviously we got to stop him.
A baby apologist? What are you talking about? What are you?
No, but I just think it's so weird for Goku to like, I'm gonna kill this guy while he's retreating. I'm like, that feels wrong.
Dude, me too. Especially the smile he has on his face as he's like connecting the Kamehameha to him in the spaceship. He has a genuine like, fuck yeah, I nailed him.
I'm gonna murder this dude.
You don't like murdering. You like fighting. Murdering is your last resort type thing. You shouldn't be smiling.
And letting him go off, just like he did to Vegeta, and be like, I'll take you on again some other time.
This guy went after his family.
Yeah. And he's a virus as opposed to, well, I guess Vegeta was a virus then too, but this is more like a virus. Like it could build up again. I don't know. It just
feels weird with the smile on his face.
That smile on his face was really odd.
Should have done the sad, regretful look that he gave Frieza.
That'd be too much, I think, too. Just the medium stoic face. Like the I'm focused, I'm taking this guy out kind of face.
Did what I had to do.
Great. Yeah.
Goku powers down. He's back to being a kid. It's like, well, I'm fine with it. And
Goku can be passed out in Super Saiyan 4 form.
That's true. That is weird.
So
he's still got fuel in the tank, though. That's why.
It's a state, he can really sustain.
Yeah. They decide that here's the plan. We're going to use the Ultra Holy Water on Earth first, and then Gohan and Kaioshin will do... So, I think it's here that I first noticed it. In all previous times, haven't we called it Planet Plant? And now this time we're like, oh, it's Planet Sufru now.
They've switched off, I think. Baby, when Baby was originally going to bring it back, it was like, now I can bring back Planet Plant! And then I think in the next episode, they refer to it as Planet Sufru. Okay. And then, I'm sure it's bounced back and forth.
The way you say it, I see they're not talking about the Planet Plant. They're talking about like their original planet was Planet Plant. So it's like, let's bring back that feeling on this new Tuffle planet or whatever.
Well, I think Tuffles are Sufrus. It's a dub name for it. But I think it's to, the dragon be like, I want this specific rock that was called Planet Plant, and I want it back, and I want it right there. And now that I'm in charge and there's no science, it's Sufru now because I'm the king.
I don't know.
I think that's maybe what it was.
Yeah, I don't think previously it was ever Planet Sufru. I think it was always Planet Plant.
Yeah. So it just caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, okay, we're changing the name. I really wish that this episode was drawn by a different team just because I really liked that shot of Goku standing on the edge of the heavenly realm as the earth is like being covered in water. And like
the rainbow.
Yeah, that would look so cool if anybody else drew it.
Yeah. Also, the fact that we get this Kamehameha shot in the final Don reunion, the final episode of GT, when he's reminiscing about all the memories or whatever. It's like, oh, you bring this look back. Gross.
But Earth's got some rumbly in its tumbly, and I guess that it's been a year because they never put the Dragon Balls back in the bowl.
It has been a year minus 2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks until destruction.
Also, you bring up the bowl. Yeah, what is the designated place that the Earth will be satisfied that the balls are back home? Because they were on Earth, right?
Yeah, well, they're in the heavenly realm.
Yeah,
Eponin, Kami's
which
place.
Is on Earth.
Yeah, so the it's probably
they need to be sealed back.
Yeah,
in their
it had
original
to be
place.
sealed back with all those corpses, and because we do know Dende put them back in the bowl because that's what he gives to Baby. Mm-hmm. So it just means that the balls in the bowl were not where they needed to be.
They were inert.
Well, no, these Dragon Balls don't go inert.
I know. Yeah.
Which is cool. I guess.
But yeah, that's really. It's also nice to know that the planet just doesn't explode after the time limit. It actually does feel like rumblies in the tummies, as Randy was saying.
We're coming up to it because we're still 2 weeks away from it being 12 months since, or 13, depending on how Chi-Chi counts.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Overall, this episode, Uchiyama, poor choreography, ruined the climax. Also, Vegeta after surviving all this and getting saved, not a single line. I was
going to say, I think they couldn't get Horikawa in to do any lines. He just gives Goku like the Samwise Gamgee look smile to Frodo.
Exactly.
He doesn't make any kind of grunt or anything?
Nope.
I think he just...
Yeah, so we hear him.
If anything,
he doesn't have a line.
A stock grunt or something like that.
No, like, oh, thanks for saving me. Or like, wow, you really put me through my paces. Or like, Super Saiyan 4?
Yeah.
Really? You're going to do that?
How is he looking at it?
He does that next episode.
How is he looking at Goku Super Saiyan 4 and even know who that is?
Exactly.
Oh, that's true.
Dad?
He can feel that key. Dad?
Wow. Brings back some locked memories. Goku also says at the end of this episode too, like, "Oh, don't worry, I can transform back into Super Saiyan 4 whenever I need to."
Want.
How do you know that? Why? I would have loved to seen that like that next episode. That's like, oh whoa, and like transforms. Oh whoa, I guess I can do this whenever I want to.
One can assume because all previous Super Saiyan forms, it's a struggle to get there the first time, but after that, you can do it, no problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just how it is.
I hate it.
So,
all right, guys.
I'd like to talk about the timeline a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Let's do some timeline talk.
So I'm going to go through this real quick kind of give you the timeline of where GT is, because Pon does say the Earth is going to blow up in 2 weeks. So we know we're now 50 weeks since the first episode of the series. Right. Mm-hmm. So in the GT Perfect Files, which was a guidebook that came out alongside GT, kind of just as marketing for it, because it was like right around the time the fight with Baby was happening. So there's like, it's hyping it up in that magazine, in that book. Mm-hmm. The GT Perfect Files has a timeline in it, which explicitly places all of the events through Pilaf's wish, from Pilaf's wish up through Goku and Baby fighting on planet Sufru in the year age 789. Okay?
Okay.
So that means 50 weeks all takes place in the same year, right? So that tells us that for that to be the case, we have to be early January for that first wish to be made. And then the fight with Baby happens late December.
Do you think it happens on Christmas, just like when it happens with Frieza?
So, I mean, maybe. But
do we ever get months in Dragon Ball? Has anyone ever said October?
Yeah, I mean, May.
Trunks with the Budokai right. And with the...
Okay.
So, somewhere, when we're done with GT, guys, we can do a full timeline episode, and I can walk you through, because I've written the stuff up for the Kanzenshi Wiki.
He's gonna have like a whiteboard and diagrams and like they all connect.
Everyone knows the Dragon Ball timeline, right? To some extent.
Yeah.
I will walk you guys through how Caramel Mama put that timeline together. I know the math. I know how they figured it out, and we can go through that together at a later point. But
why are there some confusing things about it? Well, I guess we'll
get to it when we get to it. So to give you a brief timeline of where Dragon Ball GT has happened so far, early January 789, the series starts. Between January and October is when basically everything up through them meeting Baby happens over the course of 9 months. And we know this because that's what Chi-Chi tells us, and then the GT Perfect Files also corroborates this.
Cool.
And then in October 79 is when Baby arrives on Earth and takes everything over. And then in December 79, again, lining up with the timeline that we've already expressed, Satan says that it has been 2 months since things started getting weird. Mm-hmm. So, and then that places us right into Goku arriving back on Earth, dealing with everything, Sugoroku space, and then so everything happens in rapid succession, and then Earth will blow up in 2 weeks. So GT actually has a super consistent internal timeline.
I like that, yeah.
And then, of course, then we go into 790 in the next batch of episodes that we're going to watch. We'll get to what we're covering next time, but the next episode right up is the tournament, which would be May 7th, age 790. meaning that if we're on a tournament every 3 years, that places us perfectly at 6 years since the end of Z, which means that would place us in the 30th Tenkaichi Budokai.
Is it right?
Well, they never say. Or we'll find out if they ever say, but they don't ever say that.
It'd be funny if they nailed every month and time, but then they just named the wrong tournament, the wrong number.
But I mean, they lined up perfectly for us to be at a tournament as well.
Yeah,
so
that's great. That's like the most thought they've ever put in anything in this series, besides being a candy and being able to come back.
So GT Perfect Files came out before the Super 17 or the Evil Dragons. GT Perfect Files 1, I should say, which has this timeline.
Part 2 book, second book.
Part 2 has no timeline information. It does have something that is only in GT Perfect Files 2 and Xenoverse 2 that we'll get to at that point. It's not been referenced in anything else, just the book and the game. And then, but Chozenshu 4, which then has the timeline of everything from the Daizenshu, and then incorporates elements from GT Perfect Files 1, places all of GT in happening in age 789 Goro. And Goro is a kanji thing, which means basically circa. So circa 789. So it gives you kind of like a vague, like, hey, we didn't do all the research and stuff that Herms did and Ken followed up on. So we're just going to kind of say it was around this time. So that leaves it vague. But if we go by GT Perfect Files 1 and the just coherent timeline that GT presents itself, we kind of know exactly when it does happen. So that's my timeline corner, and that's probably the final timeline corner of GT. So.
That's incredible that you. So how long does the Goku versus Baby fight go on for?
It's like a day. I think everything kind of. I mean, yeah, everything happens in a day in the same way that you think everything with Ginyu up through Frieza happens in the same day.
Right.
So it's not unprecedented for the stuff that feels like it takes longer. It doesn't.
The Buu arc takes place somewhere like 3 days or whatever.
Buu arc is 2 days.
Yeah, that's wild to
think
about.
It is the tournament and then the day after, I think.
That's why it was so impressive that GT actually did all these months and timed them out. Gave us 2 months of Baby ruling the earth. I love that, that they thought that through.
Yeah, it is shockingly consistent.
Yeah. Very well done.
But it's really weird when so Piccolo has had this wound from Gohan for 3 months.
Yes.
I was like, you can't regenerate that, my dude?
That brings us to episode 40. And I guess it's my turn. Or Doug, would you like to read this one?
No.
All right, my turn. Episode 40, The Earth Explodes. Piccolo's grave decision. Our heroes, despite being victorious against their strongest, most cunning adversary yet, struggle with trying to save the Earth from exploding. I did not edit this one for mouthfeel. I forgot.
You also put in a "the" in there.
With only 2 weeks remaining, the idea of finding the Black Star Dragon Balls across the universe is completely out of the realm of possibility. So Vegeta pitches that they relocate all of Earth's people to Planet Plant/Tsufru. Goku and company help drive this mass exodus, but Piccolo stays behind. He was alive the whole time. So no one can ever use the ultimate Dragon Balls again. Earth is wished back, and everything is back to normal. Or is it? It's not. It's not.
It's not. Things are bad.
I believe the actual line is, however, on this same Earth, something unusual had happened to the Dragon Balls.
My disappointment in that last shot. I was like, no, I was so surprised. Yes,
that happens.
There was no crack, right? Or did I miss it?
You are misremembering it. It happens in a later episode.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, oh, this is an amazing shot, and then the ball's going to crack. It doesn't crack. What the hell?
I was waiting for it to crack.
They could have cracked it. That would have been a great cliffhanger.
That crack happens sometime in the Super 17 arc, I think.
Man,
it should have happened here.
What a waste! Like a perfect shot of the ball. Its pause on there, and then cut to black. Stupid.
I could have done without the line altogether. Just let this be a nice ending.
I thought you like it when things lead into other things.
I do, but this was such a nice ending. I wanted if this was the final episode of GT, I could just stop here and said Super 17 Evil Dragons, none of that happens. This was just a nice enjoyment. This is the
Kanzenshu did.
Well, they never even made it this far.
Yeah.
So. They got to Baby becoming an ape, and they said, wow, strange how GT ended on that cliffhanger.
I should have too.
I like that Goku's plan is just, let's just go get him again, and doesn't remember how long it took the first time to find those 7 bad boys in space.
I mean, hey, we did it before. Let's just do it again.
Yeah.
So this is the actual Yamamuro episode.
Yes.
Though I am convinced that if that previous one was Koizumi, Randy heavily corrected by just about everyone who's not him.
Yeah.
There is a lot of written stuff on these signs in these cities.
Oh, yeah.
And the only one I wrote down was Momo Store. So if Senpai has a question of anything beyond Momo Store, I do not know it.
He gets points. Incredible.
So we get communication between Earth and Planet Sufru. Bulma's upset that she was left.
Go ahead.
This
is one of the best things in all of Dragon Ball.
Me same.
Is it?
Not
is
about
the Chi-Chi?
It is not.
Okay,
the Chi-Chi
good.
thing.
Oh,
So
that's what I was thinking.
Okay, so then you tell me, because that was the end of my notes before I got into being upset about Chi-Chi.
Kaioshin being like, hold on, I'll be right there, and basically just like walks through the screen as he teleports. So badass.
I don't remember that. I gotta watch that again.
Me neither.
Yeah, he's like,
check that out.
He's on the TV, and you're behind all the heroes, right? And then Kaioshin says like, hold on, let me kai myself over there. Walks like 2 steps and then teleports behind everyone. It's so nothing personnel, kid. You know.
That's good.
I was just going with Randy. Like it's like as soon as Chi-Chi came on the TV, in my head I'm like, oh, it'd be funny if she was like accusing Goku of cheating, and then she does say something like that. It's so funny. Like it's such a great.
I hated it.
You don't like that?
It doesn't feel Dragon. That doesn't feel Dragon Ball.
It doesn't. I think that's why I like cracked up that she actually said it.
There's no way Chi-Chi would ever suspect that Goku would do something like that, and that's what
I had that thought in my when you think like 20 thoughts in like 1 second, like that did go through me like, oh, but Chi-Chi trusts Goku because all that.
Yeah.
Like, but it'd still be funny though, and then she says it. I'm like, oh my god.
Next year, I'm gonna make you read Young Gigi's AF.
Oh no.
And you're gonna find out what could go so wrong with writing these characters.
If you do it that way, yeah.
And imagine this Chi-Chi thing being like the understanding of, like, someone walked away thinking that's what Chi-Chi's character is.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the way Gigi writes every character.
That's
is like this half understood version of the character.
Besides that, there was an interaction here that I really liked when they're like, okay, what do we do? And then they bring up like, oh, we should just move everybody to Planet Sufru. And Vegeta was the one that, pitched that and saying that he's used to moving to planets with large numbers of people.
Is he?
A science. And then just the look he gives to Goku and smiles, and like Goku's kind of like, yeah, man. Like they just have this sort of like weird kinship over, being the same race. I don't know. I like it. I like that.
Is that implying that there are multiple Planet Vegetas out there? They just move whenever
they moved from their original planet to Vegeta.
Yeah, one time. That's not what used to imply. We're used to doing this.
He's talking about when they were under Frieza, and they would go in large groups, like Team Bardock or Vegeta. We know from Dragon Ball Z or Super Broly that it was Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz, and then 2 other Saiyans. So they know about moving in groups like that from planet to planet.
Okay.
This Vegeta was just minded on.
I thought he was implying like giant groups,
like they were nomads,
like the entire race, like they're doing here. Like, oh, we're used to doing this. No. I thought that he was implying like, oh, our planet Vegeta, we got to relocate so many times.
My read on it was the planetary invasion stuff with Frieza,
or it wasn't we just committed genocide on this planet so that a different race of things buy it, and then we relocate them there, and then a smile to Goku, like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
But
genocide.
You guys are missing the best line Vegeta has in this episode when Goku's like, oh, I can do it as Super Saiyan 4. And Vegeta goes, Super Saiyan 4?
Yes.
You really are one unlikable bastard.
Yeah, he was like, you son of a bitch.
But he says it with such a smile on his face that it's such like a jokey, this is that evolution of Vegeta that we talked about. Of him, like, he's still Vegeta in his core, but through this prism of this much more humanized, friendly, tame Vegeta. that like he says this like cutting thing to Goku, but in a sardonic and friendly way.
Yes.
It's so great to hear him say, "You cocky son of a bitch," is like what I hear him say. Like,
It's like you
Super Saiyan 4, you miraculous son of a bitch.
you've done it again.
Yeah, it's so wonderful.
I just like the end of Z was so recent.
You just like or dislike? I didn't hear you.
I dislike. I
Okay.
dislike that the end of Z was so recent, and they're like, "Oh, we got to tell people we got to move the planet." Like nobody's gonna listen to us, and it takes a moment to be like, "Wait, Mr. Satan's right there." Like, yeah, man, we just did that like real recently.
Yeah,
16 years ago.
but it's one thing to ask for energy. It's another thing to ask for an entire race of humans to do. If this pandemic has taught me anything, there's no way everyone would have been like, "Oh, okay, cool, let's all go. Like, let's all listen to this one guy."
It's because
There's
we do not have a Mr. Satan.
I
That's true.
I guess not.
We don't.
We needed a Mr. Satan to give us the vaccine.
We thought it was Fauci.
Fauci.
That would have been great. He's doing this sort of like news conference thing to like explain what it is. And there's this one family.
The Trump
home,
rally?
and
Yeah.
The black and white.
It's only
Yes.
in grayscale.
Yes, why? It was such a weird. It's like, oh, that's an art choice. I wonder how it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't? And nothing?
Nothing.
And they show them
they're
a second
fucking
time.
Yeah, leaving, still in grayscale. I'm like, what is the choice here?
They're
Like,
going to gain color once they move out or something? What is the art
was like-
choice here?
are they watching it in a dark room? No, they just decided
They're watching this in the past. And then, like, it's like,
The only reach for an explanation I can find, because obviously that was an intentional choice that they made,
yeah,
was that it was just to show that Mr. Staten truly was reaching out to everyone. So even like people who live in Pleasantville, you know, are catching this information.
I mean, did they get everyone in Penguin Village too? I mean, are they gone?
yes. I would assume yes. I was thinking yes, but then I was like, no, wait, that's Snow, not Raleigh.
They do get everyone because Goku does a key check. He does a vibe check.
He does a vibe check and only
I do
catches
wanna-
4 people.
I have
in the entire world.
I have a joke that I wanted to get off real quick, which is it's in grayscale because originally when they animated that, they did it with some problematic colors, and those colors got canceled between animating and airing. So they're like, just grayscale it. We don't have time to reanimate. And that was going to be my joke.
Well,
So Kuririn is saddled with luggage again.
Yeah. Poor guy.
And that's great. Poor guy. He's
and
just,
no one else has luggage on that level. Like if you were telling me that my planet was gonna blow up, you know how much luggage I would have to take with me? There's no way.
Goku's doing the vibe check, and there's just Doug frantically trying to figure out a way to box his figures so that they don't get harmed.
You don't need all three Yixing Long.
I'd be like, I guess I'm dying. I'm staying here with my
I'm
figures.
dying here. Wish me
no
back.
way.
I don't care.
Everyone would agree to go to a different planet, like just like that. All right, let's go. Like all gun ho about it too.
I mean,
No way.
Even Monarch Sama helps with more ships and stuff.
King of Earth.
Yeah. I've never seen that character named that before, and I like that a lot.
Monarch
Just
Sama.
Lord King.
I like those two characters interacting, even though it's so
Yes.
brief and the king doesn't even respond. But it's just,
Oh yeah.
I like that these two guys. It's like
Connecting two worlds.
yeah, it's like whoever is writing some of this stuff is like very careful, like needle and thread, moving pieces through and mixing metaphors and everything, like I
Yeah.
just did. But yeah, it's
They're looking back like, oh, what characters can we use? And they're like looking back at the source material.
they're like everyone.
Let's just use everyone at this point.
I love Goten offering the Satan badge to Vegeta. Vegeta be like,
that
no,
was
dude,
fun.
no.
I'm not wearing that.
I got my own.
But also,
way of
I want to
taking
see
care of
Vegeta
things.
like being like a captain, like waving people down. All right, come and get in line. Like Vegeta, like forming a queue.
But he's still like is teaming up, I guess, on whatever squad Goten's on, and Goten's trying to deal with those punks, and the punks like, no, dude, we're gonna stay and play arcade games, Dragon Kart or whatever it was called.
That was the most realistic thing because it was like, oh yeah, these teenagers were young when Satan was the champion, so they wouldn't know or care who Satan is. So why would they go up? But then it feels very forceful then from that lens to be like, Vegeta's gonna knock him out, and then all right, now take him.
Yeah, Goten's
if their choice to stay.
Goten's like, guys, you got to wear a mask, and then Vegeta knocks them all out and is like, put a mask on them.
Put a mask on them. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
I love the mood of this episode. Just it's so dour.
Yeah,
but like everyone, there's got to be a way to like compare this to something else. But it's so dour. But it's everyone like just the indomitable will of the human spirit.
Yeah,
like we have to do this to save everyone, and not just like animal, not just people, but every living thing on this planet. I mean, minus
it's a more literal like save everyone. You always like, oh, you saved the world, but they're actually going out there like person by person and saving everyone. It's weird.
The whole like stadium teleporting. Yeah, there, I said it. You happy?
Great.
A way to through
1% of the world. I'm glad he showed us that you can.
It's baseball stadium, but baseball is spelled BACEBALL.
Oh, is it really?
And stadium, I believe, is STADIOM or something like that. It's interesting choice there. So
do people know that Bugujutsu is a thing in this world? Like, because when Trunks is flying over the line of people, aren't people like don't they not know that flying is a thing?
It depends how much they remember from Boo. The Boo arc. How much of that tournament do they remember seeing? Because like 18 and Mighty Mask were up in the sky for a while fighting each other, and
oh, that's true. But Satan is always like, that's just tricks, and they're just like, okay, it's tricks.
Yeah. Well, then maybe they just thought Trunks was tricking.
Sure. Yeah, it's a new Capsule Corp tech.
Yeah,
holograms.
Could be. Yeah, he is probably well known as the CEO or president of Capsule Corp at that time.
I just wanted to see like when they Goku teleported everyone away, to like see some stragglers, like, oh, they weren't touching. Because there's gonna be somebody out there like, don't touch me. You know, when they teleport everyone? Yeah. I was like, I wanted to see that, just as a little goof.
I liked when they brought up, they introduced Dola and Go here, and I'm like, why are they naming these characters? Like, this is just a lot.
I was literally just looking up in the forum post from Herms, the name pun roundup, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't mention Dola or Go in here at all. I don't know what the reference is. Ken, do you know?
I do not know. No, so if that's a Zenpai trivia question, we're screwed.
We're screwed, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Unless us referencing that the question might happen negates it.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose a point, we don't gain points, but, you know, it's a weird quantum effect that happens. So let's go through all the characters we see here. We see Snow and Hachan, who we have not seen since the end of Z. We see Oob's siblings that he references in the past episode. Upa and Bora and Upa's family. We see Yajirobe and Karin, who Karin, I guess, doesn't want to go. Pilaf and crew. Tenshinhan and Chaozu. A rough-looking Yamcha.
Is he rough-looking?
That is not a good look for him.
I don't like the pulled back straight.
I don't like
the choice,
the
though.
Chi-Chi
it's very.
look.
Is that not like a Japanese look from the late 90s?
Hey, it can still not look good. Then we've got what I thought was interesting here was Roshi, Oolong, and Puar. Why isn't Puar with Yamcha? I'm afraid to ask.
Maybe like Puar and Oolong, they like, you know, they still have reunions and get-togethers.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably it. They were just
shapeshifter meeting.
They're like, should one of us like turn into a spaceship and help out? And they're like, nah, don't worry about it. And then the dinosaurs as well. Yeah, everyone's got to go. You know, it can't leave anyone behind.
They must be the same dinosaurs from like the beginning of the series too.
Yeah. Well, that is the one.
Chops his tail.
Yeah, for sure.
There should have been a pterodactyl and a bear with a sword.
Maybe.
Oh, bear with sword. You're right.
Oh, that pterodactyl's dead though. Goku kills it. The one that kidnaps Bulma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he kills that thing.
Thought he just breaks the thing on its head and it falls
I
down.
think, at least in the Viz translation or whatever translation Green Pants put out, Green Tracksuit release, he's explicitly dead. I like the Green Pants release.
Green Pants release. It's just tracksuit. Anyway.
Namu? Nam?
Is that him?
I don't know. Maybe. He has such different facial. Well, he has facial hair, so it's
the one that was still meditating and left behind.
Yeah,
that's the one we're talking about.
I would argue that it's him. I don't think there's been any official stance one way or the other. but I would say that probably
you're gonna get canceled once they've come out with an actual name for this character. It's like, no, that's just someone who's praying.
Well, then good for him. We'll have a name for him.
Yeah. Praying man.
But then here's where we find out why Dola and Go got names, because it turns out they're important for this episode.
That's right. They got named because they have to be like, oh no, they're missing. And then Goku goes off to go rescue them. And oops, he's all out of juice.
Well, before that, he also saves. I don't want to forget that we see a cameo from Mike and Mary from
them on
the boat. Yeah.
For context,
nice.
Mike and Mary of Kanzenshu, they vacation by going on cruises.
Cruise enthusiasts.
Cruise enthusiasts is a good way to put it.
No, this was a joke.
Cruise freaks.
This was an inside joke, like a long time ago. Like they had that picture, I think maybe as their avatar or something. Like if you show that picture to them, I'm like, why does this couple look familiar? Oh, this is Mike and Mary.
That's good.
It was also funny that they actually happened to be on a cruise around this time that we were recording.
Right.
I got emotional when Piccolo first showed up.
Because he was alive, or what do you mean?
I'm just a Piccolo stan, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just, he comes so out of nowhere. And it's just like, ooh, like.
Such an interesting thing.
Just seeing, this sounds weird. Just seeing his feet, you're like, oh, that's Piccolo. Because you can tell because of the green skin, like for above his shoe, under his pants.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Piccolo. Yeah. I feel that moment.
He's great. And what he does in this episode. So let's forget anything outside of this episode that happened in previous episodes. Let's just, because it doesn't make any damn sense. Okay. So let's jump around that kind of stuff.
Agreed.
In isolation, what Piccolo does here is extremely great. Being like, hey, we cannot allow these Dragon Balls to exist anymore. They gotta go. And for that, it means I gotta go too.
It's a very nice moment where it is a great sacrifice that Piccolo, of all people, would do to save the world when he wanted to rule it.
And it's right on the tail end of Goku being like, hey, I can't teleport. I'm out. Yeah. I can't do this. And Piccolo says, your son Goku, right? There isn't anything that son Goku cannot do. Believe in yourself, son Goku.
Believe in yourself. Yeah.
And I'm getting, my hair is standing up on, you can see it. Yeah. You can see it. My hair's standing up on end. Reciting that.
I think it came too out of left field for me, for my taste for that. Like, it's a beautiful moment. I don't know. I needed more build up for that.
I think you really just kind of have to sit there and think, what have these characters been through together? And if you've been watching the show the whole time, you do know. Like, you don't need that build up. You're like, oh, shoot. I know these characters' relationships and what they've done.
So.
Yeah.
I get it.
I don't know. I do enjoy it. I wish Piccolo would have added, as long as you've got friends, you've got power or whatever. Like, something like that. Just because then he gives him energy, it's like as long as you have friends. But then he does kill himself, so maybe it's not like as long as you have friends because you're losing a friend. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just that Goku has suddenly taken a defeatist attitude,
right? Yeah,
which is un-Goku.
That's true. Yeah, from the very beginning, I can't use teleportation as a child body.
And Piccolo's like, nah,
excuse me?
Yeah,
you're son Goku.
Yeah. Come on, man.
You taught me that you can do anything. Yeah. Believe in yourself as I believe in you. Believe in the me that believes in you.
I'm about to cry on this podcast right now.
Dude, about to act up in this club.
I'm about to cry because we have this dumb, stupid, Baroque ass sounding song that plays.
Oh, that
when he's talking to Gohan.
That's okay.
It's terrible.
Is it the ending song?
No, it's the bring bring bring. It's
listen to it. It's bad.
Song. It's different, and it's kind of in a way, it's different for Piccolo, I guess, who's barely been in the show, and so for it to be kind of like a thing for him, to make him stand out, I'm okay with it. Is it the best piece of music? Am I ever going to listen to it on its own? No, right? But I think it works here as just something to kind of be like, hey, we're the different character who we're not going to, well, who hasn't been around a lot.
Yeah.
I think that I take back what I was saying. Like, when I said I need the build up for this moment to be earned, I just meant that I think that we haven't seen Piccolo at all through this GT arc. So that's what felt like too left field for me, I think.
Oh, okay.
If he was in it more, it would.
It makes no damn sense that Piccolo got blasted by Gohan. We haven't seen it. Remember, 2 months pass between that and seeing him again here.
Because Piccolo
if you don't
remember, Piccolo, like, he touches his like stomach or whatever, and it's like, while I was talking to Gohan, he's like, "You hit me real good," and he looks down and his like hands are bloody from like apparently that blast that was 2 months ago.
Where he got T-posed to death.
2.5 months. So he got end of Avad, I believe we said.
Yeah, the cross. Yeah, and he's like complimenting a Gohan that was under baby's control. Like, I wouldn't like that. Like, that's you hit me real good when you were under that spell of that baby creature.
I think
it's still his strength, so he's just kind of like, hey, I trained you good, and you kept it up, I guess.
I'm with Randy's.
It would have been nice if like his last memory wasn't like an evil Gohan smile.
Yeah, but that makes it more traumatic or more tragic, right?
Yeah.
I think weirdly makes sense for Piccolo, because he used to be evil. Like, hey, man, you got it in you. You're just like me.
He's just like me.
I maybe could have even forgave the 2.5 months thing if they didn't focus on him like slowly dying from a Kamehameha for 2.5 months. Like,
maybe he's old and his regenerative purposes aren't like kicking into full gear. Like Gohan hit me that hard that my regeneration isn't working.
Physically,
I think
he is 8 years older than Gohan?
Less.
6 or 7-ish.
Right.
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah.
He's not even 30 yet.
He's 3.5 when he shows up, right? In beginning of Dragon Ball Z, Gohan is.
Well, in
what does he do? He does. I'm 4, and then.
Well, Doug, in the original Weekly Show to Jump release, he was 3.5, and then in the Tankoban, they changed it to 4.5. I
smell death in the air.
Yeah, they changed the number somewhere along the way there. I'm not sure on the exact details of it, but
they're not different in age. Is what we're getting at. They're not. Yeah.
Your explanation is bunk. So they use the Namekian Dragon Balls to bring Earth back. And I know that Piccolo is gone, so we can't use the ultimate ones, which is good because that would be bad. But doesn't Dende still have his? Like, why didn't we pick those up when we were out getting everybody? Why do we need to make a phone call to Namek and be like, could you like bail us out real quick?
Because the Earth is exploded.
This isn't Super, where they just go around collecting the Dragon Balls all the time. Like, they just let that stuff be.
Okay. I mean,
wait, what do you say?
I'm saying, like,
what they have used instead? What do you mean?
These 2 weeks when they're like, planet's about to explode, why not take the afternoon
Dragon Balls
to go get Dendes that are around somewhere?
This is never stated in GT, but the way I always understood it is that the Earth's Dragon Balls could not be used to override the Black Star Dragon Balls.
I'm not saying to override it. I'm saying why not use those to wish Earth back after it's exploded?
Like, take them with you as you go up to that. I want to say that it's not a priority. Just transporting these humans to a different planet is the priority. That would have taken time, and the people that knew instant transmission to go and do this to find the Dragon Balls.
Here is your actual explanation that's not just headcanon, this is factual. They would have had to have used the Namekian Dragon Balls anyways, because there is a large portion of Earth's population who has already been wished back with Earth's Dragon Balls.
Oh. I think Dende fixed that, but didn't he? Or no?
No, they don't ever fix it because it's still like it's a thing at some point again. But no, they don't ever explicitly state it. The only thing Dende does is enhance the wish count.
So they wish Earth back and everything, and I know that we've still got more show to watch, but what happens to Sufru? Is it just hanging out there the rest of eternity?
The planet
Sufru.
Oh. No, then they blow that up.
They use their second wish to blow up Sufru.
Yeah.
In Piccolo's memory, I will blow up this moon thing, just like he did.
Right.
Yeah.
But they don't ever acknowledge it. They're just like, well, and then they're back. Whatever.
So maybe it was around this point they realized they were ending at 64. They were like, we don't have time to even throw a line of dialogue at this.
Trunks comes.
New moon.
Trunks shows up. He's got Giru. He fixed him. They're all good. The buddies are back.
When I saw that they were having like a dinner party, I was like, oh, I'm not super. No.
Yeah. No. Oh god. Is it Bulma's birthday? Oh my gosh.
Man, they love that shit. It's the end of every Fast and the Furious movie where they get
anyone
together.
deserves a party, it's them. Okay.
Yeah.
They're having a grill. Pop open some Coronas.
They don't hang out a
Family.
lot outside of work, so yeah, they do. Like
Tenshin Han's, well, I guess I'm never seeing you guys again line has to mean something.
It's not at all anymore.
People change. Vegeta said that he's lost the will to fight after Goku's dead during the Cell arc. But then guess what? They come back to the Buu arc. He's been training Trunks. He's like, I'm ready to go to a tournament. Like, what? Okay.
But yeah, the Tenshin Han was so like, wow, like he's gonna go on his own life. Like it was so somber is the right word I'm looking for. I don't know. It was nice.
I like that
this.
Chi-Chi has the thing of like, I don't really care if Goku's the way how he is. Goku is Goku, and I love him.
Goku-sa is Goku-sa.
Goku-sa. Well, because she knows she's getting that Super Saiyan 4 dick whenever it's necessary.
Doug.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm not the furry here, but
so he says. Then we got foreshadowing with Dende's Dragon Balls. Overall thoughts. What a neat, different episode.
Yeah.
This
it's
isn't
a nice wrap up.
This isn't an enemy that we need to overcome. This is like a confluence of events and like a whole different thing of having to figure this whole thing out.
Aftermath. I think I like this better than the
denouement
ending of the Future Trunks and Zamasu aftermath stuff or whatever.
I wrote Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying the Zamasu stuff, like when he's in the sky or whatever, and so, oh, you can't beat me.
I wrote Piccolo's goodbye sucked, and I don't know why I wrote that. Because after Ken explained it, I'm like, oh, this was really good.
Yeah.
Like to Goku or to Gohan?
Wait till we watch
what
movie
you wrote
6,
that?
guys.
Maybe to Gohan. Maybe that kind of sucked. I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff, like I said, when we talked big picture about these episodes, on the whole, I really like this. There's a lot of like little lore, like, we could have just had another line of dialogue to explain this or that, or like, why was this that way? So there's like a lot of little things that I don't like and that are easy to pick at, but I'm really trying not to let all that stuff get to me and just on the whole enjoy it.
I'd let it. Yeah. I let it consume me as Baby did. His revenge.
Doug is filled with the revenge death ball.
I think that makes for a great episode of We Got a Podcast, Doug.
Doesn't it though?
If you're the angry guy, you're the game grump, and I'm the...
Hey, you're not so grump.
I'm not so grump.
Yeah, you got it. You nailed it.
I'm the one who's not as grump.
Yeah, you're Dan Avidan.
I'm Jontron. Watch out.
Piccolo's death is still the stupidest thing to me, because why couldn't the ultimate, what are they called? We're calling those balls
ultimate Dragon Balls.
Ultimate Dragon Balls.
Sure, the Ultra Ego brawls. They're spread out again into the universe, right? Because Baby used the wish.
Yeah.
So they're all across the galaxy. And
as rocks now.
No. Before Piccolo's dead.
Yeah.
They're all spread out. No one knows about them except our gang, right?
No.
Why couldn't Piccolo just live out his days until his natural death? No one's gonna go get those balls right now. And then when Piccolo dies of natural age, then they'll turn inert. They're not gonna be usable for the rest of eternity because Piccolo didn't kill himself now. Piccolo's gonna die eventually of old age.
Here you're forgetting that this whole arc that we watched, where they went searching for the Dragon Balls, despite not broadcasting what they are, people throughout the universe are like, aha, I know what these are. So somehow people know. So it's just best to just...
I think it was all Baby. It was all like Thanos, like with Infinity Stones. Like he was puppeteering everyone. Now that Baby's dead, no one knows about these balls.
Well, no, not necessarily. The people throughout the universe know about the wishing balls. Like Nappa or Vegeta knew about the ones on Namek. And
well then instead of killing yourself, go get them again and then keep them on a different desolate planet or just separate them.
Pilaf's gonna find him.
Lock him up.
Pilaf's gonna find him wherever you put him.
Not on Earth.
Yeah.
Find like a desolate.
Oh no!
planet.
But that's
He'll go.
That's what Piccolo is saying, is that we can't even leave that up to chance. He's like, my sacrifice, my one singular sacrifice means that we don't ever have to worry about this, and also sets me up in a good position for the next arc in which I have to be in hell.
Right.
Fine. So, Ken, what else is going on in the world of anime these days?
Right. So this episode that we just watched or just discussed aired March 5th, 1997. Now, I don't have an exact date for this, but let's rewind just a little bit back to 1996. What big phenomenon began in 1996? Video game phenomenon that swept the world.
Pokemon.
Pokemon started in 1996. And the Pokemon Adventures manga began in March 1997.
Wow.
And it's still running to this day.
Still going.
What? Oh, it's good too. I've only read the first few.
It's quite good.
Arcs or whatever, but it's good.
Stuff happens. But it's quite good, yeah.
Piccolo dies in the Pokemon manga to save the world.
To give you, I have got another bundle of World of Anime for next episode. But that's it for this one.
Cool.
Okay.
And this next
Pokemon's big.
This next bundle, Randy, I think there's something in there that you'll appreciate.
Oh, dude, furry time. Let's go.
Doug, not everything has to be about furries.
I'm sorry. Low-hanging fruit, you're right.
The next GT retrospective we're going to cover, Ken, correct me if I'm wrong, episode 41, which is our next episode, and then the TV special.
Yes,
right?
So that is the order in which those came out, was episode 41, which some consider to be the actual end of the what is the baby arc, which, whatever. I think it's an interstitial, yeah.
And then,
well, no, it has to go where it goes, but yeah, and then the GT special, which is a hero's legacy in the dub. We will be watching it in Japanese, of course, and ooh boy, it is a rough transfer.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
It is I think, honestly, next to like the original plan to eradicate the Saiyans, is probably like the worst looking thing in all of Dragon Ball. Yeah, it's
I haven't seen it in
washed out colors and
frame blurring. And,
oh man,
yeah.
At the time, I was excited to get it. I was like, oh, this looks good, but maybe.
It's old looking.
More
so than it should.
As I post GT screenshots on here, I have just a quick and dirty color correction and like stuff. I had to do a custom one just for the GT special because it's so bad.
As long as it doesn't look as bad as episode 39, then it should be fine.
Oh no, animation wise, it's gonna look good.
I realized talking about it, like of course, Ozaru Baby is fat because Oob did the thing. That's post Oob stretching him out. That's why he's all fat from then on out. I thought it was just because there was a bad studio decision. Oh, he's fat, right?
Yeah. Last
I
house
didn't even catch that.
ahead of the game.
Yeah, they are actually
They
ahead
knew
of the
what's
game.
up.
I'm excited because I've never seen the GT special in my list of things. I think I've seen parts of the episode 41 that we're going to watch just for when I was doing like wiki work. I needed to check something, but I have never seen me beyond 5 seconds of the GT special.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's exciting. I'm excited to watch it. It's been 13
years.
Yep. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here, come back, do your thoughts and some trivia on this ungodly long episode. So stick with us, please. And we're back. Ken, welcome to join us. I see you turning in his chair to. Yeah.
You don't have to address these visual things.
He always does. We have these cool moments where we just come in with a figure or with you, and then Randy's like, sorry, Randy. We love you, buddy.
Thanks.
We love you. We can't help it.
He's in podcast mode where like people are listening and they don't get to see it, so I want them to enjoy the show too and see what I'm seeing.
Exactly. That's what it
Ranger
is.
power.
Oh crap! Here we go again. So first off, we're going to go through what you guys had to say about this stuff purposefully. I don't know what word I wanted to use there, but Ken put out the call for it, saying the baby arc is over. What are your general thoughts on this arc? Did you like the long build-up? Was baby compelling? Did it feel like Dragon Ball? So we've got some responses to that. Firstly, I've got Cage here who says, this arc ended up being pretty rocky, but I still had a good time watching it for the most part. The Piccolo death scene was actually managed to make me teary-eyed. I love his final moment with Goku and his goodbye to Gohan. It's such a beautiful send-off for the character that it almost makes you forget that he has done absolutely nothing in GT leading up to this. When viewed in context, this moment feels really random and unearned, but when it's viewed in a vacuum, I think it's very impactful.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when we did our Piccolo dissection episode that I brought up a quote from one of the GT writers about why Piccolo's not in GT very much because Gohan's not, and he's a character who is intrinsically tied to Gohan.
I remember you saying something like that. Yeah.
And the scenes with Piccolo, the scenes with Piccolo that we get here are
tied to Gohan.
Primarily both with Gohan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Huh. Yeah. I mean, I wish Piccolo had more, but yeah.
It's a shame these writers couldn't have come up with something to have Piccolo stand on his own, but it is what it is. Ken, would you mind taking this next one?
Yeah, Jacob Sawyer, good to see you back here. I'm still having a good time with this rewatch, minus the Doltaki bit. I have enjoyed the build-up to the story. I think it feels more like Dragon Ball, especially when we get interactions from the Legacy cast. It might feel more like Dragon Ball than Super.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Jacob.
Yeah, it really does. And I think the second we hit back on Earth, the energy of the show changed.
Yep.
When we watched that first batch of episodes, I just glowing praise for episode 2 of this show. And because it used the cast so well, and of course, Mr. Satan. Yep. And then once we get back on Earth, right away, we're in all these great Mr. Satan moments. Everyone's well written. We get a Goten that's like crazy likable out of nowhere. And yeah. It does. It does. I think for the most part, it does feel extremely like Dragon Ball, for better or worse. I think, but
without the concrete story writing.
Yeah, and it's so strange. I was just telling my wife earlier today. I'm so shocked by how much I'm loving GT when Toriyama really had no guiding hand in this series, and it's just for the most part, it's
No, I can tell he's gone. Yeah. I can tell it, and it hurts every day.
I like that Doug pulls no punches. Cemetery Baka says, honestly, the only part of GT that ever bothered me in general was the weird moonbeam flux wave capacitor buzzword science laser or whatever. But also, like, it's fucking Bulma. Of course she Deus Ex Machina something. That's her whole bag, so I let it slide.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess because she was in mad scientist mode. It didn't feel too odd to see for me.
Ken, I'd like you to update the Kanzenshu wiki to change the Brutes Wave machine to the weird moonbeam flux wave capacitor buzzword science laser or whatever.
Okay, I think that's what they're calling it in that new Chosenshu that they're releasing soon.
I'll add a note and reference back to Cemetery Baka for this one.
Thank you. I think that's important.
And then under it, Michael Scott.
Yeah, it's a good one. Ken, how about this next one?
Sabin, who's been a frequent contributor here. Good villain, funny moments, badass transformation, and a few touching scenes. All the makings of a good Dragon Ball arc.
Couldn't agree more.
For sure, yeah.
I don't know. I think this has more than Dragon Ball usually does, like emotional and all. It handled like the dour moments really well. That I don't think we see too much in Dragon Ball.
It's usually not Toriyama style to do things like that.
Yeah,
I think, and this is something maybe we'll tackle down the line. I think this will be in my top 5 arcs.
Arcs
of all of Dragon Ball.
Wow, there's a lot of good here for sure.
A lot of wrong
and a lot of Red Ribbon Army as well.
So, guys, it's here once again. Trivia from friend of the show, Zenpai. So bust out your notes, get out your crib sheets.
Super Saiyan 4 Zenpai, you son of a bitch.
And hey, just so you guys know, in the order that these are releasing on YouTube, the classic episode that will go up after this one is when Randy and Doug reviewed the 2008 OVA special, which was an episode featuring the trivia god himself, Zenpai. So definitely
that was a fun episode to have him on.
Stay tuned the week after this episode comes out for that one.
Nice.
If you can't wait, there is the audio episode available up wherever you listen to podcasts regularly. Yes. So So seek it out.
Spotify. We need more Spotify listeners.
All right. So Zenpai's
If you
got
want to
some
see
trivia
the secret footage of us recording that episode that I recorded of us and Randy before there was a video podcast, sign up to Patreon.
Whoa.
You might see a little something special there.
I don't even know what that is. All
Doesn't
right.
exist, I'm sorry.
First question. When is the first time we ever see the Kamehameha depicted in a full color page in the original serialization? 1 point if you can name the battle, 2 points if you can name the exact chapter.
This is not GT. This is like straight up. When is the first Kamehameha
Depicted in a full color page.
Full color page.
Yep. 1 point if you can tell me what fight it happened in. 2 points if you can tell me what chapter it happened in.
And obviously, we're not using the full color version of the manga.
Right. I was just saying, yeah. When I hear it in color, I'm like, yeah, that's the first one then.
Yeah.
So like, Toriyama only gets to color a few, like, pages, not even chapters. Right, Randy? Like throughout, like
every several chapters.
Every several chapters, he gets to color like the first few pages.
Right.
Which means it's got to happen early because it's never colored at the end of the chapter, right? It's always at the first few pages of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I'm gonna guess. Can I guess?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a basic answer guess, but it's the Goku versus Vegeta.
Yeah.
Incorrect.
That was going to be my guess. Kaioken times 3.
Well, tell us, is it are we too late or too early in that guess?
You're too early, and I'm going to tell you, I would give this point to Zenpai because he stumped you, but we have a secret twist. The answer, first of all, the answer is, it is Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza. Specifically chapter 323, when Frieza's just barreling towards him and Goku is
I should know that. I drew that for Herms's like battle power ranking thing he did, and he had like all these people submit art. I drew that Goku and that Frieza.
You did. I should have known by the wording of his question that it was someone that he used the Kamehameha with multiple times, because it's like, which chapter specifically? Because you could have just said, the one against Frieza, and that's would have been like which one.
True. So this is not only the first; it is also the only time that the Kamehameha is ever colored in the full color. So it's in black and white, but it looks like it's got, I'm not sure if it's just the heavy black outlines.
The color version he gave you is in black and white.
The blast itself is white with the black outline. Everything else, like the sky and Frieza, is all colored.
Ken
is busting it out.
Yeah,
he's got it right there.
Oh, how beautiful is that, man? That's the full color manga, right? Or is that that's the actual?
No.
Oh, that's the re-release of the. Oh, that's so awesome.
That's
what I regret.
The Omnibus Digest editions. What
I regret not. I got like the first 5 of those, and I regret not keep going with that. But man,
so this point I'm gonna give to somebody that isn't Zenpai, because he says, "Note, this piece of trivia is suggested to me by Tyson T. Hallams, who said when I told him you only wanted to do GT trivia for now, he said, and I quote, 'If they complain, then they can take it up with me.'"
So, scorekeeper, because I know you're out there, you got to add Tyson on the board now.
Tyson's got a point. Yeah. He's here. He's in the game.
Since the blast was white, does that really count as it being in color?
It's depicted in a full color page, is how the question was worded.
Fucking Tyson and his wording. Of course he would.
Of course.
Son of a.
We got to get Tyson.
That's his thing.
Yeah, let's get Tyson here.
We will. We just need to figure out what's the best utilization for Tyson.
Well, he wants me to upgrade my mic before he shows his face on here.
That's
never.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming up, Doug. I got you a tablet before. Who knows?
You're too good to me.
Next question. Back in episode 63 of the podcast, when you reviewed episodes 23 to 27 of GT.
This is self-referential trivia.
That's why you should know it. You lived it. You all had to do enormous amounts of headcanon to make Vegeta coexist with the Sufurians long enough for him to be familiar with Sufurian Ki. But even if that were the case, Vegeta still wouldn't have been able to be familiar with Sufurian Ki. Why is that?
Because he couldn't sense Ki.
Oh, yeah.
Doug gets the point.
Boom,
Did not
baby.
learn it until after the fight with Goku and
So, this is where I gotta, come up with an argument, right? So my argument is that he could always sense it. He just didn't know what he was feeling. And so it wasn't until after he could sense ki that he was like, oh, that's what it was.
Right. Just how Roshi can sense death in the air. He could sense Tsufurian aura.
Yeah. That's good. Good catch.
That is, yeah. In episode 37, there is something wrong with the way Kibito-shin performs his Kai-Kai. What is it?
Oh, there it is. That's our point. That's our point.
Minus point for Zenpai. Sorry, we talked about it already. He says he's putting 2 fingers on his forehead like Goku does when he teleports, despite the fact that the Ardratian technique and his godly one are completely different. For example, Kibito-shin doesn't need to hone in on any ki for his technique to work.
Right.
I did remember that correctly.
Hell yeah. I just love to imagine him just like listening to the episode, and when we say that, he feels immense. Like, no, they said it.
Yeah. Next question. In total, how many people were there left to save by the time the giant spaceship made its last trip?
Didn't one of us say it? Or
I threw out a number, but I didn't think about it and stop and like count.
I think it might have been 5.
I'm gonna say 4.
I'm gonna say 5.
You're both wrong. It's 6.
Because the fucking dog. Because the dog. Randy, don't you fucking... That's not a person.
Hold on. Reread the question, yeah.
Okay. In total, how many people were there left?
Okay. Right.
5.
So, 6. The drunkard. The couple in the storm.
Mike and Mary.
The meditating hermit. Dola, the child. And Piccolo.
Whoa.
Those not a people.
Well, Doug, we've kind of been over this.
Those greenies don't deserve.
I agree with Zenpai. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving it at that.
But we'll leave it there. Next question. Besides Upa, his tribe, and the people of Jingle Village, which include Snow and Android 8, which character has only one appearance in all of Dragon Ball GT, namely in episode 40?
It's got to be either Puar or Oolong, right?
So what besides who? Okay, who?
Besides Upa, his tribe, and the people of Jingle Village, including Snow and Android 8.
Yeah.
Which character has only one appearance in all of Dragon Ball GT, and which was in episode 40?
Ken's checking his notes.
Named character?
Named.
Ken's got his notes checking. He wrote these down a long time ago.
He doesn't have it.
I'm gonna have to say Oolong.
I'll guess Puar then.
Doug, you're incorrect. The answer is Gyumao. Yamcha, Puar, Tenshinhan, and Chaozu have one more cameo appearance in episode 64.
Oh, but the Ox King himself is only
He's at the dinner party, yeah.
Mother flipper, what?
And he looks younger than Kuririn.
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh,
Look,
no.
having a daughter that still lives with you is rough. I think that's what it is.
That was a good one.
I say that as like having a child, not specifically a female child. Like that's
no, we
worse.
understood. Yeah, I got you.
Okay. I just wanted to cover it. I don't want to be canceled here, just at the end of the baby arc. All right. Last one. What should Goku learn what to do? I think there's too many whats. What should Goku learn to do?
Is that it?
Yeah, what should he learn to do? Zenpai is on this streak where now he puts in funny ones at the end to pad it out / entertain us. And how dare he make things fun? What should Goku learn to do?
Swim. No, that's not swim.
There's no point where he needs to learn to swim in this episode.
To do.
Forcibly teleport people who don't want to teleport with him? Piccolo?
No, that is not the answer he has written.
All right, don't give us the answer. Don't give us the answer. Just give us a hint. What should Goku? What is it kind of like feeling for? Like, a technique or like a feeling?
It's a punchline.
It's a punchline.
So he can't give us a hint at a punchline.
No,
and that ruins it.
So I'm just going to tell it to you now, Doug, okay? Because you don't have a guess. What should Goku learn to do? He should learn when to shut up. We wanted to see Gotenks, God damn it.
Look,
Agreed.
he was right though.
Yeah,
I know.
No, and any other thing they would have shown, like in the Yo Son Goku and Friends Return, you get that little like 10 seconds of Gotenks, even though they're not the ones to take care of the baddie.
They're not adults though.
That's
We didn't get
because-
to see adult Gotenks.
No, that's what I'm saying is that like they could have had like it would have been a fun moment. Why stop the fun?
Akka was such a low-level threat that Goku and
Yeah.
Vegeta were just like, yeah, whatever. Like, let him do it.
So that's going to wrap us up, except for, we had talked about before, we want more people on Spotify because there's fun things to do on Spotify. We have polls and we have questions for each episode. And our last episode, where we had the big transformation to Super Saiyan 4, on Spotify, we asked you if you could rename Super Saiyan 4, what would you want it to be called? And we had a few responses.
Yeah.
Midnight Queen said Super Saiyan Ozaru. I don't know. Super Saiyan 4 is fine to me.
I thought you were saying Midnight Queen was the name that we should give it this form.
Goku has achieved Midnight
Queen. That's badass.
That's a JoJo name right there. I love it. We're gonna need some fan art artists out there drawing Super Saiyan Midnight Queen.
We don't have to. That's what Super Saiyan 4 is to me now. It's gonna be Midnight Queen.
That's true. I love that. Tarples says Super Saiyan Monkey. I like that.
It's straight to the point. It's in line with all these new transformations of Super Saiyan Blue and everything. Orange Piccolo. Let's just call it what it is.
And Gander says Mastered Ozaru.
I like that.
Oh.
I do like that one.
So then would Golden Ozaru be Omen Ozaru?
Oh my god. Get him off. Get him out of here.
Randy, hit the button!
Which one?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
There's so many buttons.
trying to think about how to set him up for that too.
I'm coming!
So that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for listening. We love interacting with you and keeping you in the conversation, talking about our favorite franchise in the world. And you know what? How just great GT has been. Post at us on our socials. You can find them. It's at We Got a Pod. You can email us at wegottapod@gmail.com.
It's my last episode of the GT review of Awesomeness. Auspiciosity, I'm sorry.
Retrospective. Jesus.
Whatever. Thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use his hip hop track, Kakarot theme hip hop track remix. You can find that track and other great music on his SoundCloud. Ken, where and when can the good people find you?
Well, right now you can go over to @DetectiveX on Twitter, where I have been posting some art of the new guy who's probably a Makaioshin from Daima meeting Moro. And I also did a little goof, a little joke of a fake I'm Doug moment. Chozenshu number 5, which doesn't exist and probably never will exist. But I did put it and got a lot of people who don't know how to use DeepL on their phone to take picture of text and have it auto-translate it for them. To have known that was a fake, because I explicitly wrote this is fake in Japanese.
Straight up in Japanese. Wow, nice.
That's good. Doug, where people find you? And when?
Jabaz Doug in all time, everywhere, all at once. Jabaz Doug.
You can check me out at Saber_Breaker, specifically up on Threads. That's where I'm hanging out now. If you want to be in there, if you want to be listening to me talking about Sea of Stars and other video games I play, get up on Threads. Threads is a good place.
Notifications on Instagram that like, oh, someone made a post on Threads. it's random.
This guy.
Well, guys, as always, thank you for listening. We also have a Blueski account that you can follow as well. I'm not really active on Blueski because no one else is. And
that's how this works, right?
Right now, it's still Twitter. That's where the people's at.
Yeah.
99% of people are still calling it Twitter. And we have a good time over there.
99% of us here on the podcast still call it Twitter.
99.9%.
6.9, yeah.
Randy's the 1%, and get him.
Wow.
Come at me.
Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, review, answer polls, and whatever else we ask. Do it.
If you want.
If you want. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you, Matsunator.
Bye. We don't need to make Ken's brand about moms.
That's true.
Well,
or good. Caramel moms.
Let's not say like a bad thing.
JK. Unless.